family.
It's a little loud and hot here.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was hot out there.
Yeah.
It was hot up there. Everybody's jaw jacking. There was cooking going on. Mm-hmm. So we moved down here. So there's in years past the group has been larger. So like I'm literally so give you a quick rundown. So everybody's meeting about 6:00. You know, hey, we're gonna do a little toy swap party at 8:00. Which if you've been with us for more than a year, you understand this. We have a Christmas party. It's kind of basically revolves around the toy world, the social friends that we brought from the toy world, and we do a white elephant gift. You bring a gift. It has to be action figure collectible toy. It has to be adult toy, or it has to be alcohol. That's the stipulation.
Or any combination of the three. Yep.
Right. And then it's a pretty standard white elephant, Yankee swap, whatever you want to call it. Everybody draws a number. Number 1 picks. They open up a gift. Number 2 then gets to go. They can steal or get a new one, blah, blah, blah. So in years past, there's been more people. And so, okay, it starts at 8:00. I'm sitting with Jeremy and the beautiful Laura, who just celebrated a birthday, the big 2-9, I heard.
Yeah.
And
2-9.
So we kind of lean in, and I'm like, hey, guys, remember, we want to be downstairs, because if not, you're in a folding chair or on the floor. You want to be on the couch.
Yeah.
So the experts, so about 15, 16 minutes before it's supposed to start, it's the McCarthys and the Bashadis and the DeWitts downstairs on getting in the couch spots, because we know better, right? Yeah. And it was nice. It was very cool. It was like, oh, this is kind of nice and cool. It was a nice little reprieve because, like I said, it was warm upstairs. Everybody's hugging and breathing and whatnot. Then they all came down here and started breathing on us. So but,
they breathed their breath.
Fucking
breath breathers.
But it was fun. It was a good time. I mean, Travis and Party always put on a good Heidi. Travis and Heidi always put on a good party. They're some of the most welcoming people. They're obviously very social. Heidi only got pissed off over something silly once and stormed out, which that's a win.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
After you guys left.
Oh, really? What happened?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
It was something stupid.
Neither does she.
So.
Right, she won't today.
I don't. The
we
only
got a
reason
super chat real quick. I'm
sorry.
sorry.
The only reason I bring it up is because I thought it was me that did it. It turns out it wasn't me that did it, so that's why I brought it up, because I can't be blamed.
So who was it? Let's throw him under the bus. Who was it?
Travis.
Yeah, good guy.
And then 10 seconds later, everything was fine because Travis explained to her what had happened, and she goes, "Oh, that makes sense." And then we were all good again. So, but it was a panic moment.
Anything's posable. Noah says, "Morning, y'all. I have my Mesquite trip booked."
Yes.
Yay.
Messaged me last night. He said, "Hey man, can I get the block details?" And I was like, "The details are they suck and they don't give me a good block. And when they do give me a block, there's no discount. So book it up and come, baby." Yes, I was super excited to see that. Anything's posable. Of course, you guys, you all know and love. You all Noah and love.
Oh,
you see what I did
saw
there?
it. I heard it.
I'm practically a genius. Oh, I doubled down. Oh, God. No, I want to have sex with you. If Noah will allow me, and he can't tell me no because I'm going to say it anyway.
He can't say Noah.
He can't say Noah.
Boom.
Oh, that's great. Anyways, I love Noah's look. I've always loved Noah's look. Like the first time I saw him, dude rolls in and he reminds me of, like, I look at him and I'm like, wait a minute, rhythm guitar in Suicidal, right? Just the vest and the way he wears his hat, like he can pull the hat off. Like I've always loved Noah's look.
Got a really smooth voice.
Yeah.
Too.
And you look at him and you see him and you meet him and you're like, this is a cool cat. And I've said it before on the show where I judge everybody that I meet kind of based on whether or not I could sit and have a conversation or, sit down and have a beer with them. Mm-hmm. Like you meet people and you're like, hey, that guy was really nice. You're like, yeah, but I have no desire to, like, I could never see myself planning an event or spending any time with them. Like they're nice to meet, but I surround myself with other type of people. I meet Noah and I'm like, this cat's cool. Like I could sit down and have a brew with this guy, and I think the world of Noah.
Hey, it was only $5.
No, not the super chat. Dude, he's flying out here.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
He's flying out here, and I'm picking him up at the airport.
And $5 is $5. So
it's only $5.
So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of people traveling. for MesquiCon. I have a sneaky suspicion the mythical meetup on Friday night is going to be fucking gangbusters.
Yeah.
Because it was a packed room last year and an absolute blast. And I can count at least 10 more people that are coming this year that weren't here last year. So I think it's going to be good shit.
It's going to be a good show. You're not going to want to miss it if you can make the trip. This is going to be the premier Legions event in Muskegon.
That's fair. That's fair.
Quick updates. Booking out all of the Star Wars groups. I know that's not necessarily applicable to the Mythical Meetup, but they're always a huge hit, and they're just a ton of numerous groups of just amazing people, and everybody loves to be walking down the con aisle, and R2-D2 beep boops his way by, and they're like, no, never mind, that was Maverick. But and the way that they interact with the people, like they're an event in and of themselves. Being able to get your photo taken with legit costumes. Like these people, they do a great job, and they're super family oriented, which MesquiCon really is. I mean, that's kind of the basis of it. But to be able to have them there, and as far as promos for future years, like they're a great group. They're a series of great groups because there's 4 groups that get invited to MesquiCon, right. And I don't remember all the different names of them, but there's 501st, Rebel Legion, Mandalorian Mercs, and then there's one other one that I think is like good guys, but I'm not good enough with the lore to necessarily always.
I don't know the groups, but I love having them around, except if they're doing sequel trilogy stuff, then screw that. If you're doing the Rey thing, or the First Order Stormtrooper, come on. If you're gonna make yourself a Stormtrooper outfit, don't go First Order. First Order's lame. You want the old school. You want the real Stormtroopers that can't hit shit when they fire and bump their heads on doors because, they bump their heads on doors because they can't see.
The Rebel Legion, the 501st Legion, Mandalorian Mercs, and the Dark Empire. I'm sorry, the Dark Empire was the one I couldn't remember.
Ooh, that's a fun name.
I've heard of them.
Yeah.
Nice.
But again, great groups of people that they're fun, and
send me as much info as you can on them later.
I will. I'm just waiting on confirmations. They've all, like I said, they've all been invited. And they almost never, at least don't send some representation. I just don't know at this point how much representation. But yes, as soon as I got it, I will get it to you after numerous times of you having to remind me. Yeah. So
obviously we're kind of preaching to the choir here, but just if you happen to be somebody who isn't informed, Legion's Row is going to be there. It's going to be the back. I think it's going to be the same spot it was last year. The back row is going to be a lot of Legion stuff and Jeremy.
Nope. Jeremy got the boot.
Jeremy's out.
Jeremy got the boot. So Jeremy has been a huge partner of mine thus far in MesquiCon. And I have not been a great leader. But he said, hey man, if you've got to put me like in the basement, down in storage room B, because I'm not Legions, go ahead. So I did. I put him down there with his stapler. And that Legion's Row is going to absolutely kick ass. And of course, Jeremy might not be in the same spot, but he'll be in that area because Jeremy also would like to be not on the end because he's a social butterfly. So if I can get him into the mix, I want to do that.
Some way.
So it has to start somewhere. It has to start sometime.
If I have to be on the very end,
here?
We'll get a bunch of arrows and lights. Like, hey, fat hairy guy over here.
Look at me.
But we will have some people from the Four Horsemen Studios. We'll have Travis with his booth, which will be full of.
I have confirmation.
Oh, you do? Okay.
You know what? Let me make sure. Let me make sure that it's okay to
dish
reveal
it
those
so we can
names.
stop.
While you're doing that, Travis is going to be there with a buttload of Legions, and I mean a buttload. As far as I know, he's got a buttload of Legions, and I think
he can fit a lot of things in his butt.
He's going to be doing a street team too, as far as I know. So that's going to be a buttload of Legions, and then everybody else. And there's going to be, come on, Drunk Gizmo's going to be there. Oh shit, help me out. The guy with the light up torches. What's his name? I know his name.
Carver Customs.
Carver
Brian
Customs
Lynn
is going to be there. Brian. And his wife, I'm assuming, she's usually with him.
Dang.
I can confirmation. Jeremy Gerard, Jim Preziosi. So super excited. I had a sneaky suspicion this whole time. I knew it was going to be those guys because they
Jim
both,
loves it.
Yeah, so does Jeremy. Jeremy talked about, and one of the coolest things that Jeremy said to me about MesquiCon was it was the same but different, because yes, he's a part of Four Horsemen, and yes, but Legion's Con, he is running the con, right? He is such a huge part of what the Four Horsemen are doing. He's such a huge, I mean, he is literally running the G-Con event, the live event. Then on top of all of that, he has a double booth of Mythic Customs that he's just pulled in so many directions. When he comes to MesquiCon, yes, he's still Jeremy Gerard from the Four Horsemen.
But he can just be a dude.
Right. He's not
Right.
manning the table. He's not slinging toys. He's not doing... there's not 9,000 people running up to him and asking him questions. Like, he got to be a Mythic Legions fan and got to be part of the con and do it. And he really enjoyed that, you know? And we enjoyed having it because again, as a con promoter, I know exactly how he feels. Maybe it's not to the extent, because I'm not trying to coordinate an entire live show and whatnot, you know, with MesquiCon, but I do understand the pressure of, in that moment, it's like I'm having a great conversation with Jeremy DeWitt about something totally unrelated because he's my fucking BFF. Yeah. But then it's like, hey, booth ABX just showed up. They don't know where they're supposed to go. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, they got 7 emails, 6 texts, 2 Facebook messages, and 3 maps. But yes, I will stop what I'm doing and I will go over and walk them in. And I do it with a smile on my face because that's my job. Yeah. And I don't have one bad vendor. I don't have one pain in my ass. I'm just running. I don't get to do, I'm MesquiCon promoter. I don't get to be Pete McCarthy mega nerd like I like to be. And Jeremy gets to do that at MesquiCon. And there's kind of a personal connection for me personally, because Jeremy creates these environments, like works his ass off to create these environments for us to enjoy. And for me to be able to give back, even in a very small part by comparison, create a space for him to come and be that's super cool to me, you know? But the Mythical meetup on Friday is going to be rad. And again, it all starts there. So
I just love that this has turned into, like, it was just like this little local show where like some dads and moms and kids would show up and then our toy friends. And now it's become like people from all over the country and even shit last year all over the world, man, you know,
To see me.
yeah, to see you,
Yeah.
to see Steve.
Pretty sure that's what it's about.
So it's fun how much it's grown, and hopefully it keeps groaning.
Yeah, totally. It's going to be awesome. Hopefully.
Sounded sarcastic.
Yeah, no, all right.
No, it is.
totally gonna be
really
cool,
think,
I
do think
guess.
it's going to be awesome. I was just reading at the same time, trying to see if there was anything I needed to react to.
Hey, Christoph Nord. A personal thing for me personally is not grammatically correct. Is anything we say grammatically correct, though?
Hey, Christopher Nord, you posted 2 comments back to back, and one of them has punctuation and one of them doesn't. So you figure out your grammar and then you come back at me, okay? Thanks, bud.
Oh.
So after the
And personally, that's my personal opinion, Nord.
personally,
I did say personally a lot, didn't I? That's what Jeremy Gerard does to me. It's so personal. It's personally personal within my person. And it's awesome to be surrounded by all my personnel while I'm at the show.
Snap.
Yeah.
Yeah, you went there.
Add an N, change it to an E. Now we go from personal to personnel.
And add an L.
And no, still just one L.
No. Is it? No.
but no, we're not having a grammar spelling contest.
Christopher Nord does personnel.
Is it 2 N's or 2 L's?
It's 2 N's, 1 L.
Okay. Well, I knew they added a letter.
And they changed the A to an E from personal to personnel. So
I don't know. We need Travis.
Christopher, I appreciate that because I'm the first one
We do.
to straight up
Wake him up.
So at this point, though, with everything going on in the political landscape, do we say Grammar Musk now? Or do we still say Grammar Nazi?
Oh.
That was clever.
That was clever.
That was fucking clever. I don't care who you are.
Yeah. But
I love those little diagrams of people with the arms, and it's like
Oh, yeah.
saying hello, hailing a taxi, and then there's this big red section that says Nazi, petting a dog, petting a child at rest. I'm like, that is hilarious. So
yeah. Fucking hilarious. All right.
After the
The
Christmas
ladder.
swap.
So yes, 1L. Thank you, Christopher.
So after the Christmas swap last night, me, Jeremy,
I just want to get a word in. It's
Laura.
my show. I'm the host.
his
I'm
wife
the alpha.
Laura, and my wife Courtney recorded like an hour and a half of Patreon episodes, or an episode that is that long. So just that'll be dropping soon. And if you want to hear it and you're not a Patreon, you're gonna have to be a Patreon. So go over to our Patreon site and re-up if you've. If your credit card is expired and you didn't renew, because we're dumping out the content again, and we're trying to make it worth it for you all. So
And if you have a plan, double it.
yeah, that's Cody knows we're going to be rich and famous someday, and that's why he's here.
Yeah, that's why he keeps sticking around.
Sunday. He believes in the fact that this is going to be bigger than Duck Dynasty at some point. With the
Steve's got something secret brewing.
oh yeah, big stuff.
Oh?
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know about?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but he told you.
Yep.
Well, that makes sense. All right.
All right.
It's like last night when we were doing our little Patreon thing, MOTU Joe was dropping some shit, but he wouldn't say it in the mic, so. What?
Do me a favor.
Okay.
So you took 2 selfies last night and you posted both of them on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
Okay. There's the one where Amanda and Courtney and I aren't really looking.
Yes.
Will you please send that to Cody real quick?
The bunk one?
Yes, the bunk one.
Okay. All right.
One.
So Cody is going to put a picture up on the screen. And this is from the little toy party last night, little selfie. We always take group photos. You know how we do. And so I want to explain what's happening in this photo. Okay. So you guys can see there's Jeremy in the middle. Okay. Right
That's
behind
me.
Jeremy is me. I'm looking at Courtney. So next to me is my wife and Courtney Bashotti, Steve's wife. Okay. So what you captured, Jeremy, is Amanda leaning in for the photo, realizing she was kind of behind your face, leaning out. So I went to put my arm around her to kind of pull in close, not realizing that Courtney had snuck up behind there, and I picked up not one, but both of Courtney's breasts on the way up.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Fight! Kung Fu
So
fight!
this is me right here going, oh my God, I'm sorry. And Courtney laughing because she knew that I wasn't looking. And Amanda going, what did you just do, you asshole? So I'm like,
Oh, wow.
I just tried to put my arm around you. I didn't know Courtney was there. And I cupped
You
over
can
her
see
breast.
that look in Amanda's eyes right there. She's not happy.
Yeah, because she didn't know what I did to Courtney. She thought I was being a dick.
It looks like Laura knew. If not, she's just having a good
they watched
laugh.
it happen because I went to put my arm. Courtney leans in and all of a sudden leans back and goes, "That's my titty," or something to that effect. But yeah, so then then I remembered. I was like, what does Olivia call that? Bean dip. That's my kids do that too. They flick you a bean dip. So
Courtney
but
wouldn't
yeah,
have
It
said,
did get resolved. I did send another picture.
Courtney wouldn't have said that's my titty. She would have said you brushed across my memory.
well, I said it's not verbatim.
That's how we
But
speak.
I
My chest fat
So
sacks.
we had this hilarious laugh, and I was like, and I looked at Courtney and I looked at Amanda, and I go, for all of the shit that I talk when something like that actually happens, look at how red my face is. And we were all laughing. Then we take the second photo, obviously.
There, it looks a little happier there.
But yeah, it was super funny because when you posted that, I didn't realize you actually caught that on video, or you caught the image of me inadvertently groping Courtney.
Well, now it's not quite forever cemented in photo
Right.
form, but at least the aftermath of it is, and you can remember that fine moment
All right.
for years to come. With a U.
Oh, I remembered that moment last night before I fell asleep, and then once in the shower this morning.
Oh!
I didn't. I'm kidding. I didn't shower this morning.
I'm still wearing the same clothes I was.
Me too.
So
last
it's
night.
Steve.
Me too.
Steve has the same shirt on
I
he
put
wore
the
last
same
night.
pants on and the same
fucking
shirt.
I literally slept in this.
I didn't sleep in it. That's for sure.
Everything but my jeans are clean. This is day 2 in these jeans. Everything else is fresh.
Dusty says, "Zoom in on Steve." Why? What was he doing?
I want to get out of there.
Something about Steve's face.
Oh, that's right. You guys were making your exit, and then he's like, "Let's do a selfie." And
Yeah,
then
I
you
want
got
to get
held
out of
up.
there, and it was taking forever. And I was like, jeez.
He's looking at his.
I don't have a
invisible
watch.
watch.
It's just the symbol of, what the hell? This is taking me too much time.
And he's wearing the same shirt he's wearing now.
Yeah. The Alpha. All right. Time to move on to toys. Huh? Toy news?
No,
Well, okay.
Toy drama.
not quite.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just gonna throw in a little bit of personal business. Keep everybody up to business on my band life. You guys.
Okay.
know.
Okay.
But,
Lay it on me.
yeah. Stuff that happened during the week.
Real quick recap. Yard Sale Underwear, premier local jam band. Been together 15 plus years. A 90s cover band that's only ever played one show but was amazing. They need to get off their ass and play again. And an Alice in Chains project that's never going to get off the ground the same way that Lane Staley never got sober.
So this past week,
How did we during COVID not write a parody against anti-vaxxers? They come to fear the booster.
shit,
It just hit. How did we not do that?
need to go back some years.
We should still write it, but about Cody, it's about that little thing at the movie theater so he can see over people's heads.
Booster seat.
Yeah, he comes to fear
perfect.
the
All right.
booster. All right. I'm sorry. Band update, Jeremy.
So, basically, our bass player's he's moonlighting, so we can't really get a lot of gigs with YSU because he's playing out a lot in Idiots. Of course, they changed their name to Uncle Clunk. They spent a lot of time worrying about changing their name to Uncle Clunk. I'm talking like a month back and forth.
I don't like that name. I like Idiots better.
Yeah, Idiots was actually, they said it's ID10T5 because that's how it's spelled.
Right.
Spelt.
Which they put way too much work into that, too.
And apparently it's some computer jargon, and you're being clever because you're putting ID10T5 instead of it. Anyway,
God, it's just like the Wonders.
It's like
the Oneaters,
The
right?
Oneaters.
it's like the Pen 15 Club, guys.
Yes,
is what
yeah.
it really is. Yep. Okay.
So, and Uncle Clunk, I guess, is actually like a Showbiz Pizza retired animatronic or some shit like that. So anyway, whatever.
Okay.
Well, we got an offer to do a show for Parties in the Park this year. But he was playing a gig with his other band.
So Parties in the Park, downtown Muskegon, kind of an outdoor thing. They do it every Friday. It's super fun. It's super popular around here. It's it's the thing to do on a Friday night if you're from Muskegon.
Yep.
I
But
stayed
he
the
was
hell away
playing
from it.
at this place called the Itty Bitty Bar in like Grand Rapids or something.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, "Oh, that show's lame. I'm going to see if I can talk him into not playing that night so we can do Parties in the Park because that's way cooler." Well, the guy who runs his band was pretty upset with that. And let's be fair. I won't talk a lot of trash, but I will say that
I'll collect it.
Idiots is very close to a. It's like the Kmart version of Yard Sale underwear. They try to copy a lot of things that we did.
So
The main leader tried to copy a lot of the things we did
there is a
to make it more fun and
there's a very distinct possibility that when you would watch Idiots play, you could tell that the lead singer always wanted to be in Yard Sale underwear but was never allowed to be.
fair.
One of Yard Sale Underwear's big sticks, for those of you that don't know, and most of you don't know because this is pretty local to here, but every few songs it's different hats and capes and funny masks and glowing glasses, and they're a party band. Mm-hmm. There's no other way to describe it. Their set is very eclectic. And they just do some great medleys and they change lyrics. And I've mentioned it before. They do Vanilla Ice is Ice Ice Baby. Jeremy on the guitar. Jeremy raps while he's playing, does the first verse as the guy from the Digital Underground, and then does the second verse as Cartman, and then goes into Go Ninja Go. And I mean, they're just fun. Like, people would come out because they're like, we're going to have a good time watching Yard Sale Underwear.
Yeah, we're stupid, and people like stupid.
And that's what the idiots tried to capture. And again, I enjoyed listening to them, and I would say that a lot of their song choices were even a little bit more my years, if you will.
Yeah. They didn't copy like all the song choices. And stuff. No, they did their own thing for sure.
But they definitely were in the style of Yard Sale Underwear, funk and fun.
So
you guys put the fun in funk. Why have you never put that on a banner? Cody, are you writing these down? I'm fucking Christopher Nord, man. He pointed out one of my errors and it like fired off something in my brain. Now I'm throwing 7 different kinds of smoke.
Yeah.
This is fucking genius falling out. Thank you, Christopher.
Thank God it's documented. So anyway, he didn't like the idea of canceling a show. Said, listen, if you're going to be in this band, we're priority. And...
He did the old ultimatum, and the spouse said...
He told him, basically, if you want to play that show, you can, but, you're basically...
Out.
It's going to be a thing. Yeah, so...
all right, hey, Pete, listen. You need to leave your 23 deep career in the fire service that you've risen to the rank in chief, because this podcast is priority.
Yeah.
That's the equivalent. That's how different these two bands are. I want people to understand that.
And now they're pretty booked. So there were a lot of shows. There was some money on the table for old Footsie here, but Footsie made the decision.
Footsie is the bassist because he didn't mention his name earlier.
That's true. And he says, I don't take kindly to ultimatums, basically, and was like, peace out, and left the group. So
if anybody is a bass player.
Wait. It gets worse.
Oh.
And then their drummer quit, too, because he has to have shoulder surgery. So the band disbanded in one day.
Bunch of gigs open for you.
Oh, good call.
Get that gig list and call up and say,
go,
hey, I heard
that. Go play bass. Go play bass in Captain Clunky.
I heard the idiots can't do the show. Did you know that Yard Sale's together again?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yard Sale's back again.
That's true. Yard Sale's back, all right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we
actually they open up their second set with that song. Second set or third set?
I have one of them.
Second set. Yeah, and it's awesome. Come back from the break like, this is fucking Backstreet Boys. Get it?
Man, I've never even made it to the second set.
You never made it to a second show.
I have never left a Yard Sale show before I've got to see Jeremy shine. And when I say Jeremy shine, he does this really cool guitar thing where he mixes all these songs together. And then all of a sudden you're like, that's fucking White Zombie in there? That's awesome. And I've never not done a shot with Jeremy while he's been on stage. Those are my 2 bugaboos.
That's good. I like to do that. So yeah. So
Cody just fell asleep.
Yard Sale's back. All right. We're going to end up playing some more shows, I think, now. Because before we were going to like 1 show a month. And now we're like, well, maybe we could get a couple weekends in a month. So, and the money couldn't hurt.
And
that is if there's anywhere to play in town anymore.
Well, but that's the other thing too is, this other band has got a ton of gigs on the table. Well, when you're willing to drive 4 hours to play a bar for $300.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, we got all these gigs lined up. Well, but do you? I mean, yeah, you do, but
you're going to be playing to nobody in a stinky bar.
Yeah, in Podunkville, USA, and you didn't even have enough to cover fuel,
Yep.
Yard Sale's a little bit more selective in what they do.
YSU will not be playing Muskegee. We did do that one year where we played the night of setup.
Yep.
But
yeah.
And we actually had a conversation about that years back when you first kind of got in. That'd be super cool. We could do this, and it was too much of an undertaking at the time. But
yep. Who knows? Maybe
that
in the
was
future.
a fucking riot.
Yeah.
That was it the Pigeon Hill Brewing 5-year anniversary or something? You guys played a beer tent?
Yeah, we played outside.
Yeah. So we literally did set up on Friday night and then walked down the block into the beer tent and rocked out with it YSU. That was fun.
Yeah.
So,
good stuff.
Guy from my past was like, hey, oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. How's your mom doing? she's dead. she's been dead for a few years. And he's like, oh my God, I'm drunk. I'm sorry. Punch me in the face. I was like, I'm not going to punch you in the face.
I had this chick come up to she used to be my mom's like best friend, little crony. She was like maybe 5 years older than us, but for whatever reason she hung out with my mom. And she'd like be in the house and we'd be downstairs smoking pot. And she'd sit on the stairs and go, Nancy, they're smoking pot right now. And my mom would be like, tell them they have to get me high. This chick, anyway, so they were pretty close for a minute. And she was totally this narc, but we get her to buy beer for us. But she, I ran into her after years, hadn't seen her in the bar, and she's like, oh, hey, Jeremy, how's your mom? And I'm like, she's dead. Oh, I'm so sorry. How's your grandpa? Well, he's dead. Oh, how's your brother? I'm like, well, he's not dead, but.
I like how Jeremy's upbringing was his mom saying, they have to get me high.
You better share your weed.
And my upbringing was hearing my mom tell me stories about the 70s when people would get on that marijuana and jump out windows.
We never jumped out windows, that's for sure.
Are you doing
We did buy weed through our window.
Are you huffing grass?
I was like, I'm never doing marijuana if it's going to make me jump out a window. Well, these people get out of their mind and they think they can fly.
My mom's friend was not Minnie Mouse. Her name was Liz. She was oddly shaped, and it looked like she was always looking through you.
She was oddly shaped.
She was.
I like that.
She was a little kind of stout and like wobbled.
Like
it was like she was a little person, but human size. Human size. That's wow. That was rude.
Little people are human size as well, right?
I meant normie size.
My wife.
Human size. What a dick. Canceled.
I love it. That's gonna be it.
Yeah, that'll be it.
Of all the things that we've said, it's
yeah.
going to be, well, he referred to a non-little person as a normie. So
Okay. It's okay because we're friends with one. We got Ben.
No, I said human sized.
And as if you guys have like the perfect physique.
Yeah, I'm pretty rotund. But yeah, no, wow, quite a. I remember one time she told my buddy Jason, she's like, hey, Jason, if you're pretty cute, maybe want to kick it sometime.
Want to kick it?
He's like, nope. Not going to happen, Liz.
Does that mean sex?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She wanted to
kick it.
Yeah.
I thought it meant like listen to music.
Well, kick it can be hang out, but
Yeah,
in that context,
the
it
beautiful
was,
sounds of
I wasn't good at those
squishy.
cues. Never been good at those
macaroni
cues.
in a pot.
That's a girl that came up to me and said I'd like to have intercourse. I didn't know what she meant.
Well, now you know.
So
Years later.
now toy news.
Yeah, we can move on.
All right. Let's get on to some toy news.
Human size.
Human size. What the fuck?
Well, it's not normal human size, right?
So,
It's definitely not your average.
I think we're done probably with that.
I want to jump in. There's some good comments I want to bring up real quick. And Christopher Kelly says, I'm just chiming in to say, hey, especially with my buddy Pete, eat a dick.
Chris Kelly?
Yep.
Chris
And,
Kelly, and not many people know this, but he is a freaking astronaut.
An astronaut. Emphasis on the ass. So Nate Strong says, Pete puts the faux in what's faux lunch. It's pronounced fa, but that was awesome. I was on the other side of the state yesterday for a cheerleading competition. I got to have lunch with Nate and his wife Holly. Super fun. So glad that he came out. And then so he punned that, which I thought was good. But then when Noah asked if Yard Sale is going to be playing MesquiCon, Nate said too much of an underwear taking. Like too much of an undertaking. That was good.
Oh,
That was
snap.
good.
That went over
was
my
good.
head. My human-sized head.
Christopher Nord wants to know if when we meet in the parking lot to fight idiots, and he wants to know he found out your dark secret that you hate little people.
No, I love him.
I don't know any.
I just put him in my pocket. And I just walk around.
That's why we have this.
We're like full life
obsession
Glyos.
with Glyos. God damn it.
Oh,
Have any of you actually like known a little person, like been friends with, like in a hey, how you doing? Like you know him that well, or do you just see him
no.
admire every?
A little
No, but I
persons?
would love it.
A little person?
Yeah.
So we there was actually a little person who went to school with us. She was a few years behind me, but knew her relatively well, and like would say hello by name out in the world. I can't say we were friends, but small town, and but yeah.
Isn't Ben Talmadge one? Well, it's the closest we've got.
I already said that. We're okay because we're friends with one.
We're friends with one. So
All right.
Yeah.
there's one on Instagram that's stacked that I inadvertently followed. So
You guys are acting like it's like some rare Pokemon you're trying to find.
I gotta catch them all.
Yeah.
I gotta catch all the dwarves. I have learned a lot about that though, because my wife watches Seven Little Johnstons, which is a reality TV show about a family of little people, and when it comes to reality TV, like, I'm sorry for those of you that give a shit. I guess 90% of reality TV is straight trash.
Yeah.
Like it's just garbage. These are just like, I mean, I say regular people.
They're humans, okay?
These are regular dwarves. But there's
They're little humans.
So many pitfalls.
but it's
Fuck. Where's
obviously-
Travis?
Yeah.
Where's Travis?
obviously there's
He'd just be
the
laughing.
I'm all out of sorts.
struggles of obviously being a dwarf in a what they call normal size world. There's
Jesse
struggles
says, "Would you
there,
say
but
you stumbled across her, Pete."
oh, that's not funny. But
That's not
but it's hilarious. But it doesn't. They don't. It's not like a constant just focus on it. Like some of these ones my wife watches, it's like it's the Smiths and their 8 little miracles, because they shot 1,000 eggs into a uterus and then threw a bunch of sperm at it, hoping for the best, and then they have 8 kids, and then they spend every episode whining about how hard it is to have 8 kids. I'm like, you paid thousands to have
did
those.
the thing.
You know what I mean? Like you kind of But no, I've learned a lot about the dwarf community. So
There you go.
yeah, it's a very entertaining show.
There's this dude.
Seven Little Johnstons, available on Prime.
There's this human on TikTok who has a couple of little people. They're both.
He has a couple of them, like in his stable. He picked up a couple. He picked up a couple from a reputable breeder.
Fuck.
Found a few under a mushroom.
Hey, it's fucking one of.
I'm gonna pee my pants. He found a couple of them.
God damn it!
Where'd you meet your friends? It was morale season. And you just followed me home.
Oh, fuck! God damn it!
Oh, Steven, I gotta go pee pee.
Go pee-pee.
Anyway, they're cute, and he puts balloons.
Dwarfs say wee wee, but yeah.
He puts balloons on them when they go through Walmart. It's fucking hilarious.
Super chat.
Paul Schreiber said, "Wow, $20 says laughing so hard." Oh shit! God damn it!
Thanks, Paul.
Bless you guys. Bless you.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. Wow.
toy news.
Toy news. Gotta get this one in quick before Pete comes back. 'Cause he won't give a fuck.
Jeez, oh fright.
Oh, it sounds like Steve might be against this one. MOTU X Thundercats crossover revealed. We have some lookage at the figures that are coming up from this line. We were curious where they were going to go with this, if it was just going to be like, if it was going to be crossovers, like, mashups, or if they were just going to give Thundercats He-Man style clothing, and it kind of looks like that's what they're doing. Maybe a little bit of both, though. Excuse me.
Did you guys get the super chat while I was gone?
Yeah, we got it. So we have
$20?
Yeah, $20.
Jesus.
20, but well, 30 if you're gonna get Skelra. You're talking about
The super chat.
The super chat. But yes, these figures are gonna be $20 also. So what we have here, we got Mumra.
Who doesn't look, from what we can see, much different than normal Mumra.
He looks like Mumra.
But
it's
isn't
actually
his skirt-
Skelra is the one that's going to be the figure, but you can turn him into looking like regular Mumra. And that's kind of the thing with these. You can, like Lion-O and Chitara, and of course I don't know if they're calling Battle Cat Man. I have it written down. But
So I'm sorry, bring me up to speed. This is now MOTU and Lion-O.
MOTU and
Thundercats.
Thundercats crossover.
Okay, so this is what they did with Turtles, but they're
Yes.
doing it with Thundercats. Okay.
Yes.
yeah, but
Okay,
it's a
I
little
want
bit
it-
different.
In the chat, real quick, while Jeremy's explaining these figures, gun to your head, you have to do a MOTU crossover with another toy line. People that are watching right now, what's it got to be, and go. Jeremy?
All right. So we got Chitara here with, I don't know, like MOTU elements, I guess. A little bit of armor, and it looks like headbandy thingy, and
Well, the boots are definitely MOTU-y.
yeah, they look like
The
Tila
furry
boots.
boots, the Tila boots.
The hair sculpt, I mean, that headband is very MOTU-y, right?
Ish,
That
yeah.
crown,
It's got
I don't know what you call that, but
yeah, like
Tiara?
a tiara type of thing.
yeah. Attila Tiara?
Yeah. It looks like she's got like an arm bracer, maybe where that her bow can lock into.
so you can pretty
I don't
much
see a
turn
bow.
her.
Yeah, you can take all that crap off.
Bow
and
staff,
then,
you mean?
Yeah, because it stretches. It goes from small to.
I apologize. I see it now. You said bow, and I was thinking like bow and arrow.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha. B-O.
I was thinking like Bo Jackson.
Like
you know?
Steve. B-O.
Ooh.
Yeah, but it looks like you can like undress them from their MOTU crap and make them look like normal
Having normal
Thundercats in Origin style.
origin style is fun.
That's what I'm talking about, and that's what I was kind of hoping they were gonna do. So
Yeah, look at this. You could totally if
yeah, Lion-O, he's got like a like a shoulder shield, and he's got like the cuff kind of looks weird because he's got the skin or the fur color difference. But yeah, he's got the He-Man underwear and belt and furry boots and whatnot. But yeah, it comes with all the pieces where you can just make him look like regular Lion-O.
I would never ever use him any other way than regular.
I know, right?
So, Jeremy, is this doing anything for you?
Yes. Yeah.
You're like, hey, I want to get these.
I would like to get these.
Okay,
Yeah.
Steven?
Originally, I was like, hell no, but now, seeing that you can make them look like the regular figures in that style, I'm kind of it's possible.
I gotta say though,
you are more. So you look at it and you go, okay, these are the crossover aspects to make them a blended mashup style figure, right? You're looking at them going, hey, I can get some cool Thundercats figures, but in the design aspect of MOTU. Okay,
Right.
just wanted to clarify.
And see,
It's amazing how brilliant we are without Travis. Can we fucking notate this? This is an amazing show.
So
Before the show, Steve did not like these. I will say that.
no, I did.
I
not.
brought him up, and he's like, "What the heck?"
Well,
now
because-
that we talk
because
about them,
Yeah.
I always thought it would be cool to have Thundercats and Masters of the Universe in the same world or in the
'Cause they're
same
very
story.
close.
Because they're close. I don't feel like their designs have to change to do that. I'd rather just see regular Lion-O hanging out with regular He-Man
right?
and working
So
together.
so this is mashup. You're thinking more team up.
Team up.
Okay.
Yeah, team up is cool.
Like now, MOTU in DC when they did those 2-packs, stupidest fucking thing in the world. Now, I'm sorry, to me that those I don't think jive. But if you gave me a 2-packs and it was the everybody's classic He-Man and their classic Lion-O, the Heroes 2-pack,
Yeah.
and then you had Mumra
Yeah.
and Skeletor.
Skeletor.
Thank you. Another 2-pack. That to me, I would not have bought that because I don't have an attachment to either of those. But I'm like, that's a neat idea.
Yeah,
like
it's
I
an
can
easy
see
sell.
because the aesthetics are so similar, you know. But like I could say the same thing about like Turtles and He-Man. Not to me, but if you gave me Turtles and Toxic Crusaders.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, they
you
fit
gave
in
me
that same
Turtles
world.
or you gave me Toxic Crusaders and Bucky. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Bucky O'Hare.
Yeah.
Biker Mice from Mars, like those to me, you could do, you could
Yeah,
do
they're-
team
they're-
ups.
yeah.
They would all be very similar.
Anthropomorphic animals and
Yeah,
whatnot.
absolutely.
I will say that the changes they've done. Now we've seen versions of like a Battle Cat Man and stuff before. It fits in this, so it's funny because somebody did like a picture of like Battle Cat with He-Man's head on it. So Battle Cat Man rides, He-Man. But and I actually do enjoy the Skeletor, like Skelra or whatever. I kind of like that design too. So these are actually hitting a lot better than the Turtles stuff for me, which is odd because Turtles and He-Man are like my top two. So
But a lot of it has to do with blended aesthetics.
Yeah,
I think
it just makes more. It
the
just
stylization is so much more similar.
yeah. So
So I want to throw a few of these. So of course, Star Wars in MOTU. I mean, I get it. That's a suggestion. Dungeons and Dragons, Battle Beast, Power Rangers. Dusty retracted a message because he always retracts his messages. MOTU and Brave Star. I'm not terribly familiar with Brave Star. Is that that's the guitar guitar guy?
No, it's
Cowboy, space cowboy.
It's
Space cowboy
type of thing.
Doesn't he have a guitar though?
No, that's Silverhawks.
That's
They got a guy
Silverhawks,
that does
okay.
that.
MOTU and Mad Balls.
Now that one, I never have thought of, but that works for me.
Okay, but here's my question, and I'm going to ask. So Christopher Nord, welcome to the show. So when you say MOTU Mad Balls, are you saying Mad Balls that are MOTU characters, or are you saying MOTU like Mad Ball
Mad
turned
Balls
into
in like Origin style
Yes.
or something?
Are
like
you
that?
saying are these 6-inch action or 5-inch action figures? Like you take a Mad Ball and you turn it into a character that's posable, or are you saying making Mad Balls based off the MOTU? Because I think that would work either way.
I would like to see Mad Balls based on MOTU.
That would be my knee jerk.
Yeah.
But they also have done in recent years. They have taken current Mad Balls and made them into 6-inch figures, right?
Yes. Yeah, they have.
So that works that way too.
Yep.
He says a Mad Ball based on MOTU. Yep. No, that's awesome.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen some customs of those, and they had some pretty good direction. They went in some pretty good directions there. MOTU and cereal mascots. That's pretty fun.
MOTU and Mad Ball. Oh, I'm sorry. MOTU and Mortal Kombat. And then Dusty says
MOTU Combat.
Dusty says MOTU and Mask. I wish you would have redacted that fucking stupid idea. Old school Dungeons and Dragons, MOTU G.I. Joe. Mad Ball Mason to do. Am I late to the party? Nord is Mav, right? Is it?
I don't know. Could be.
Oh, it would make sense.
What's oh fuck, did he do it to me again?
Yeah, he says you're not late to the party. The guys are dumb.
We're not dumb. You change your name. How are we supposed to know?
What's Christopher Nord a reference to?
It's Christoph Nord, and I don't know. He even said, "Didn't the robot draw Jeremy as Skeletor Mad Ball?" Yes, you did.
Okay, here's what I like to
Christoph
know.
Nord is Maverick in the Marvel Comics. Block that motherfucker, Cody.
Okay, here's a little psychology.
Here I thought we had a new listener that was actually decent. Nope,
yeah, I
fucking
know that's
Maverick.
the psychology of this.
Turns
When
out you actually like Maverick when he's not Maverick.
Well, I'm trying to say, but nobody will let me say it.
Honestly, Jeremy, what I was thinking was we actually like Maverick when he's not Maverick. That was my thought.
When we didn't
Cody,
know thoughts. How come I don't hate his comments when I don't know it's him?
Exactly.
Preconceived notions.
That's fucking
Son
funny.
of a bitch.
Oh shit. God damn it, Maverick.
I'm coming to next week's show as Maverick.
Beep boop.
Beep boop.
So yeah, those are coming out. Sounds like it's going to be around April or so.
Jesse just shattered my world by pointing that out. He just says, "Sorry, everyone." But no, that's the fun part about. I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of the success from '80s cartoons, '80s toy lines, like there wasn't a ton of people reinventing the wheel, right? It was okay. Well, what works? This is popular. We're going to do something similar to that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't argue the influence that we see in all this stuff. Well, that's why a lot of the stuff works together.
Yeah.
Because it's all influenced.
They're all different,
from
but the same.
Right. You know, like you said, you made the comment about anthropomorphic. Like, these guys fucking did it with Ninja Turtles. Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we can. Let's use mice instead.
Yeah, a bunch of things
No,
piggyback.
let's
right
put them
off
on
that.
Harleys and we'll make them from
samurai
Mars.
pizza cats and
Right.
shit.
You know. So.
All right, moving on. Next toy.
I don't remember the Pete Mitchell review. It says, Pete, what hurt worse, the Pete Mitchell review or the Christopher Nord? I don't remember the Pete Mitchell because my therapist had me block that from my memory. So
Beautiful. Keeping on the Thundercats, Ultimates Wave 12, Cruncher, Nade, is it Nada?
Nida?
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 And Safari
Na-
Joe.
Is it Nadia? No, that's not the right
No,
spot.
because the Y and D are...
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's
YD?
Noida.
Noida.
And Safari
Safari
Joe.
Joe.
I don't give a fuck about any of these characters, but...
I like them.
Okay, I was going to say, Steve may enjoy this.
Can we take a quick step back with Thundercats? I know obviously a ton of the MOTU stuff, a ton of the Ninja Turtle stuff, like that all has stuff going on, right? I mean, there's been new Turtles stuff, there's been new MOTU stuff, TV shows, series, animated, blah blah, whatever. Is Thundercats got anything other than just these toys right now? Like, is there plans? Is there anything going on in the world other than the toys?
No, in recent years they've had some comic crossover stuff with Masters, but no, there's like no media.
I mean, there's no media. There was Funko did a run of them.
I think the last cartoon they had was like 2011.
Right.
And it's actually really good.
Yeah,
A lot of the figures that we've been seeing is because of Netflix did a He-Man, so here's these. Hey, they did a different He-Man. Here's these figures. Hey, Seth Rogen did a Turtles. Hey, here's these figures. I didn't know if there was some sort of
No, there's no
Thundercats
reboots.
is coming back in some way, and this is in support of that.
I wish it would, but I don't know of anything that's in the works or happening.
Okay.
I mean, there's been rumors of a movie, but never even as prevalent as Masters of the Universe. In my opinion.
And that's that Masters. I mean, there's been rumors about Masters movies like your whole lives, hasn't there?
Pretty much.
I mean, there hasn't been a time in the last 40 years where somebody hasn't been going, well, there's one in the works. So
yeah, I mean, there's always been one in the works. Right now, though, we're at the point where they actually have multiple actors cast in the movie. So, and they're set to start filming soon.
And from what they're saying about the story, it's going to be horrible.
We'll see. So let me.
A mild-mannered guy on Earth finds out he's He-Man. Something like that, or like an office guy or something.
Basically, he's a
finds
dude
out
that's living on Earth. He landed onto Earth, lost his power sword. Don't know if he's aware of that, but that's what happened when he was a baby. And he's been here for, it says, almost 30 years. So he's damn near 30. He's in his 20s. And he needs to find his power sword to go back to Eternia or something.
That sounds so stupid. What?
So let me ask you guys this from a MOTU perspective. You guys are super fans. I mean, there's no two ways about that. And again, this is all assuming that you've got the right writers. Okay. I'm giving you a well-written story. I'm giving you actors that make sense. So we're not talking about some of those variables. You guys are getting what you want. Do you want a live action movie that is reminiscent of the cartoon, or do you want them to say, hey, no, that He-Man cuts this guy and he bleeds? Like, are you guys look like you've got the story, you've got the actors. Do you want to see what we can do in 25 with He-Man if it had not necessarily a mature rating? It doesn't have to be, sex and shit, right? But do you want to see real fighting? And what do you guys want from a MOTU movie?
Fantasy. First and foremost, I want fantasy. I don't need a real world tie-in.
Right.
I don't need a tie-in to Earth. I don't need
embrace the Eternia stuff and we don't need to mention Earth at all. We want to be off in the
if there's
any
fantasy
mention
realm.
of Earth, it just has to be Queen Marlena came from Earth.
Yeah, that's the only really thing that was ever there.
Right.
I mean, there's the thing of the flag and the.
Well, maybe they traveled there because the kids and the Christmas special.
But it's all very
whatever.
minor. It's all very, very, very minor.
Yes.
Okay. We know that in the MOTU world, Earth exists somewhere, but we don't need Prince Adam being an inhabitant of Earth to I would assume that they're doing that so that I can recognize or I can see myself as him now, and there's all this thing of everybody thinks they have to see themselves and everything. I don't want to see myself in He-Man. I want He-Man to be fucking 10 times, 1,000 times better than me, cooler, better looking, more powerful, better freaking morals. I want him to be fantastic. I do not want him to be anything like me.
So you don't want the movie grounded in reality.
Not at all.
And you know what? And I think there's a real chance of real success in that, because you either need to ground the movie in our world, or you need to take it completely out of the world.
See what
When you trying to blend that can be that can be too much sometimes because it's not enough fantasy, it's not enough reality, and when you try to blend those, if you go reality, there's limitations in what you can do realistically.
Right.
Even in the idea of like looking at Marvel and what have you, like there was limitations within that universe because they tried to keep it realistic because we are in Earth, this is real world, right? Where in fantasy, anything goes. And if you try too hard, you take people out of the reality of it and you lose them, or it's so fantastical and out of this.
Well, what they've done in recent years is they'll take things and they'll like won't. Now, granted, it's changing a little bit, but they won't embrace the source material. But every time they start to embrace the source material, it's more effective. The fans tend to come out more. And now, I guess. There were a lot of different styles right in the very beginning. There was a little bit more, violent. There's the cartoon, and I love all of that. I've always said a good combination would be go similar to like Guardians of the Galaxy, kind of do what the Marvel stuff has done.
They give you real fights. They give you real consequences to those fights, but you don't. It's not blood and gore.
And there's still like humor and all that. I think they may have hurt us and gone a little bit too far though in the fact that remember Peter Quill came from Earth and they did the whole thing. He was on Earth and then they stole him. I don't know if they're kind of taking a number from that for this movie. I don't know. I guess we'll see when it comes out. But
that's the other side of things too. Is that to me was executed wonderfully.
Yeah,
because
those were characters nobody knew about,
right?
And they ended up loving it.
And the Avengers are grounded in Earth. Everything's happening on Earth,
right?
Yeah.
So that in and of itself imposes implications that you kind of have to stick with, right? Yes, we have aliens coming in. Yes, we have a Hulk. Yes, we have all of this fantastical stuff, but they are, hey, guess what? This building, when you get into this battle in Wachovia or Sokovia, you get into this battle, this building came down and innocent people died.
Right.
So they grounded that to in a certain extent to be able to not take you too far one way or the other. And that to me is kind of the secret sauce. Game of Thrones, I finished Deadwood, right? Deadwood was very easy for me to watch 20 years after it came out because it was set 200 years ago. There wasn't anything. Now you watch something from 1996 and they've got a flip phone and you scoff, or they've got a bag phone in the car or whatever. You kind of laugh. I watched The Rock the other day because it's just one of my all-time favorites. And Sean Connery answers the car phone. My Humvee is gestolen. And I am not stealing your Humvee. And you're like in the bag phone and you chuckle like, oh my God, I remember those.
Right.
But you can do that with this type of stuff. And that's one of the things I always hated about DC. And the listeners, if you've been with us for more than 2 years, you know that I've mentioned Star City and Gotham and all this other shit. Like DC tried to bring that fantasy. They wanted it grounded in reality, but they didn't give you a real location, and it takes me out of it. Avengers Tower's in New York City.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Batcave's in Gotham. But there are other cities that they go to, but there's fake ones in there. Like you can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
Either give me another goddamn planet that I know nothing about, or give me the real shit here on Earth. And that's one of the things that I've always disliked about DC.
Yeah.
And now I love the Gotham, like the aesthetic that they created in Gotham, but then they should have created an entire universe around that aesthetic and not had, you can go to Pittsburgh. Well, no, you can't go to Pittsburgh. Well,
Pittsburgh
Metropolis is over the bridge from Gotham. Then you take a left-hand turn and you go into Albany. You can't. But no, I would, and like I've said before, I will shit on MOTU until my last dying breath. But I have always rooted for you guys to get the MOTU. And when I say you guys, MOTU fans, because you are some of the most loyal out there. I've always rooted for you to get that movie that you guys want. But I've never really truly understood what it is that you guys want. Because I'm telling you right now, you fuck up MOTU and you've got Suburban Commando. You know what I mean?
They made little tweaks in Revelation and Revolution, and the MOTU fans flipped. We did the
Sorry to interrupt.
Nope.
No, good to see you, man.
Good to see me.
They tried to do a revamp and get a different audience when they did like the CGI show. And granted, they changed a lot in that, and some fans were like, you know what, it was enough, and I could enjoy it, and blah blah blah. But it didn't last very long, and why? Because you didn't keep those core fans there. You had people that were willing to accept it and like, oh, it's new, and I still have my old stuff, but it's not their favorite version, and blah blah blah. Except maybe Rodriguez, but
So how do you recreate the Marvel magic with MOTU and make the MOTU fans happy, but get somebody who has no idea what He-Man and the Master of the Universe are to go to the theater and watch this?
that's what they're trying to do.
It's a simple concept.
Is it though?
We need amazing special effects. We need it to be colorful. We need it to be a world no one's either. We need it to be a world that no one's seen before if you're not a MOTU fan, but it's still relatable to MOTU fans like us. Okay? I mean, just think if they did it like if they just stayed true. With Teela is actually got her thighs out and she looks like frickin' Teela. And the guys' costumes are very similar to what everything is because it's ridiculous. But on a world that is alien enough from that, it'll work.
Yeah.
It's alien and barbaric and technological. You need to throw it all at it. And the story is simple. The story is simple about a kid who gets the power because he's the chosen one, and he can't let his parents know at first because, it's Superman.
Yeah.
We all realize that. It is very Superman-esque in a whole different world and different things. And Skeletor needs to be scary as hell.
You can pull off those things you want, the costumes and the aesthetic, without the dose of reality. As soon as you drop the dose of Earth reality in
That's
there,
what we don't
then
need.
it becomes sexualization of the women, and then
Exactly.
it becomes all of the.
Right.
And then there's this obligation to race change characters or LGBT inclusion, which we all support. Everybody knows we support all of those things. But when you tie it to reality, you start to force some of those things into the slot. At least the people that control the purse strings, which they have to matter, even though we don't care about them. But if you keep it full fantasy, you can get away with that stuff. And they go, no, we're just creating the source material. It's not about exclusion. Yes, not about exclusion. It's not about inclusion. It's about bringing this to life.
Bringing what
as
already
it
exists.
sits.
Yeah.
Think of the movie 300. Now, I don't think that He-Man should be as gritty as 300. But think of what they did there. A bunch of dudes, ripped, everybody having abs. Everything's a little skewed. The bad guy that he fights is like 7 foot tall or something. I can't remember his name anymore. But everybody's very sexy. I mean, everybody's really cool looking. Awesome fight scenes. It's not really grounded in reality, even though it's the Spartans, right?
Right.
And look at what you could get away with that. That's what He-Man needs to be.
Yeah.
Bunch
But
of dudes,
I wonder if,
ripped
like-
dudes and abs with abs.
I wonder if like 300 though was really popular because of like the violence.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
But you can have cool ass fight scenes without blood
totally
splattering
agree.
everywhere.
But they got to
but
do the
that's the-
Superman thing.
but that's
He
the
crashes
other-
on Earth and blah blah blah. I don't.
But that's the
understand why
other.
you need that.
That's the other side. And full disclosure, I've never seen 300. I mean, I know enough about pop culture to understand. If you go to a movie like 300, you have an expectation for violence and gore, right? You have an a movie about Caesar. You have an expectation of orgies, and because that's actually part of the lore. The graphic violence isn't a part of the MOTU lore, so you can bring that to life and make people happy without having to have that.
Yeah.
Somebody just said I should be a guest on POTU, and I agree.
Well, these people just want the powers that be want to make some money, and they need to have a summer blockbuster, and they need to have the kids to love it. And apparently, putting it on Earth makes the kids love it. I don't know.
We can't, and at the end of the day, we can't blame them.
No, I get why
and
they're
that's-
doing what they're
you
doing.
have to,
but it's unfortunate for us.
if they don't make money, we don't get anything.
Yeah.
And that's the part that sucks, because in the grand scheme of things, if they do, nobody is in a position to just do true fan service unless a guy like Kevin Smith, Chris, or let's use this as an example. Okay. Channing Tatum. Channing Tatum is like, I'm at a point in my career, in my life that I want to be Gambit. What's it going to take? And he puts the money up.
Yeah.
And he says, I'm going to make this movie. And whether or not I make any money, I don't give two shits or a fuck because I don't need the money. I want to do this right. That might be how we get a Gambit movie. Ryan Reynolds with Deadpool is a very similar story of, I'm going to put into this. If somebody had a passion for MOTU, let's say we find out that Joe Manganiello or whatever is a hardcore MOTU fan, and he says, I'm going to back this. I'm going to do it. But as long as you need, and I'll say Hollywood production, you guys know what I mean by that. As long as you need somebody else's money to make it happen, there's going to be an expectation on a return.
Yeah.
And that's how many movies that are like underground movies that didn't make shit that everybody was disappointed in, but then became, they made hundreds of millions on home VHS shit 10 years after they came out, and they go, oh my God, that actually was a hit, know? So the purse strings are always going to matter, and it sucks, but that's the nature of the beast because you can't keep the doors open without it.
And in all honesty, we haven't seen anything yet. Maybe that whole change won't be that big of a deal. It'll be different, but maybe the rest of the movie will be enough for us to be like, oh well, I don't hate that.
But maybe it's
not what I want. It's not what I'm asking for.
90 to 95% of the movie is all here in Eternia. Maybe the little snippets we're seeing from Earth, maybe it's just a flashback, or maybe it's a quick story portion.
Yeah.
To fill in a blank.
You're stripping it clean, man. I think that there's so much ripe fruit. Jesse thinks that the story is thin, he says, for Masters. I disagree. We've got the disappointment of King Randor not knowing that his slacker son Adam is He-Man. Yep. I think that is very good story writing. It's different than Superman. A lot of people, He-Man, Superman. It's different than Superman, no, because Paul Kent knew that he was...
Right, he knew from
he
when
had
he was
powers.
a child. Yeah.
Can I ask
not disappointed?
A clarifying question, real quick, just for my own knowledge. Kind of part of the premise is like He-Man, and the king is like, he's our hero, and we praise him. And then it's like later that night, it's like you're doodling again, Adam. Like, why can't
you're
you be
off
more
fishing
like
with Cringer?
Why can't you be more like He-Man?
Exactly.
Like,
why do you always disappear when there's a freaking problem?
Oh, okay.
Why? What? You always run. Because Adam's always got to find a place to run off, and he's doing it all to protect the people he loves. Because if they find out that that gives his enemies
Oh, okay.
And I firmly think that in most He-Man stories that veil gets lifted at some point, and then they find out. And I think that should happen in the movie. Maybe not the first movie, maybe in the sequel. Mm-hmm. But I think it's a lot of story progression. Mm-hmm. Though he's got this thing with Teela. Teela thinks He-Man is so responsible and badass. She thinks Adam's a slacker. She doesn't know that Adam is He-Man. There's so much good stuff there to be written in this. And then the whole Keldor.
Yeah.
I would do the Keldor brother to his so Skeletor is He-Man's uncle because I think it's good, rich story. Yeah. I think there's a lot of stuff that could be. And then there's Teela's father, Man-at-Arms, who knows that Adam is getting shit from his dad and knows that he's the real hero.
Right. And he has to
sit there and watch.
He's got to be another father figure for him. Like, dude, you're doing the right thing.
There's so much there.
And he has that type of a secret is a terrible burden. Mm-hmm. And so much of our cinema is dealing with that burden, whether it's Bruce Wayne or whether it's Peter Parker or whether it's Daredevil or there's so much of and even going back to the Turtles, like why do they live in the sewer? Because they can't live in society. They're going to come out and help society, even though society would shun them if they actually knew. Yep. I mean, this is a story that's been told and retold thousands of times. Why? Because it works. Yep. Because people can identify with those types of things. I hope you guys get your MOTU movie. I really do.
The conflict, I keep wanting to answer their questions. The conflict with the reason Skeletor wants to rule is because he thinks he should. He thinks it's his birthright. He's the half brother and he's the older brother to King Randor, but he was an illegitimate child, and that's why he's blue.
Learning all sorts of stuff. He's the Jon Snow of MOTU.
Yeah, he's an illegitimate child. He's part Gar, and that's why he's blue, and he was passed over.
So King Andor banged a Gar chick?
Yeah.
Nice.
Hot.
Yeah.
We could see that scene.
Yeah.
Was it?
I want to
it,
see them blue nips.
Was it outside of Holy Matrimony, or was it prior to?
I think it might have been prior to, but
they've never really.
They've
said.
never fleshed it out really great like that.
He's not a cheater. He's just a.
And Keldor was a regular dude who made a deal with the devil and got powers, and that's what stripped his face and turned him into Skeletor and made him even more psychotic. So, I mean, I think there's a lot of story there we can go through.
So so realistically, then, a lot of this is, this is Odin, Thor, and Loki.
There's a lot of Odin. There's a lot of Superman. There's a lot of mixture.
Yeah, there's a
bunch
lot.
Of shit.
Yeah, I get, but.
Or you could go the other route because there are a couple of different story paths. You could do the Demon from Despondo's thing, where Skeletor comes from another dimension, wanting to bring the rest of his people there.
It just wants to.
It just wants to take over because he's
just
dominating.
evil.
So there's there's the early story, which is that story, and then there's the tweaks that have been made over the years, which I think are actually more interesting to a certain extent. But I think there's so much meat on this bone, but people can't see it.
Yep.
The right people can't see it.
There you go.
So
Well, good luck, guys.
Thanks. So Thundercats.
Are we doing toy news?
We're still doing toy news.
Okay. I didn't send anything because I didn't want to step on Jeremy. He was real upset last week when I had some pictures. So.
dude, I'm not collecting these anymore because of space issues, but I really love how all of these look, and I love these characters.
They're
fun.
nailing the cartoon aspect, and I just think these guys look pretty darn good.
Now here at the time of my life. So this is a pose where the big beefy guy, what's his name?
Yep.
I don't actually know his name.
Okay.
We
Big
said
beefy
it
guy.
like an
He's
hour
like
ago, but
He's
Lion-
probably of the
Lionel's basically jumping at the sword and he's got his arms out and it's very Dirty Dancing-esque.
Cruncher.
Yeah, I think he's part of the
Yeah.
the Lunatics.
Oh, it's not Safari Joe because Safari Joe.
Right, he's the
Joe
guy that
is-
looks like a Joe in a safari outfit.
Yeah, I think he's fun too. It's just his.
Oh, he's silly looking.
He's silly.
It's fun.
Yeah, and I love that he's silly.
He looks like he looks like he has all of these brilliant plans that constantly get foiled by the Thundercats.
Exactly.
He's got a robot that looks like a train.
Yeah,
I mean, come on,
that's pretty fun.
it's crazy. And it has,
It's like Johnny Five, but he's a train.
yeah.
No disassemble. Does anybody else still have nightmares over that shit?
A little bit, yeah.
God.
It's pretty fucked up.
I mean, what the fuck was wrong with our childhood, man?
They always,
Fucking disassembling Johnny Five, the fucking the horse and fucking never ending
Artax,
story,
yeah,
Artax, and fucking the goddamn what's the dinosaur, the cartoon dinosaurs,
Land Before Time.
Land Before
Yeah.
Time. Are you
That's
fucking
why-
kidding me?
That's why Cody's generation's a bunch of
Jesus
pussies.
Christ!
We had to fucking callous ourselves.
Fucking Fievel.
We had to
You know what I
callous
mean?
ourselves at like 7 to this horrible, traumatic stuff. We were getting cartoons and live action movies made for kids.
God damn.
Yeah.
No wonder we're all on fucking Xanax.
But at least they keep making toys for us.
The longer the show goes, it seems
Every-
like Cody's hair is getting more messed up and disheveled, and he's just we're sucking the life out of him.
I guess he's fallen asleep twice. All right. What else we
I
got?
watched Land Before Time.
Fucking Land Before Time is fucked
Yeah,
up.
but did you see the lame, cheesy sequels, or did you see the real Land Before Time when shit goes down with Sharptooth?
I don't know.
And
Yeah, that first one. Woo.
Jesus.
fucking Fievel's mom dies.
I found it.
And that little girl got like fucking killed or something. The little voice of
Oh, yeah.
Ducky.
Yeah. It's fucked up.
I don't know if she got molested. It was horrible whatever
Yeah.
happened to her in her home life. I can't
Fucking
remember.
80s, man.
Jesus.
Mondo.
And we all wonder why Corey Feldman has LED roller skates while he plays a guitar on stage.
Yeah, dude. That Michael Jackson dressing motherfucker
He
is
earned it.
horrible, but you know what?
I hate him, but he earned
We
it.
get it, man.
Dude, you fucked up. You get it. It's not your fault.
Hey, we're at the coast drinking some brews, but no, because some older brother had to go and fail their driver's test.
Mondo's giving us some more teases of their
Gerard,
new
right?
turtle line. All they're showing us here in this picture is the fly swatter, but that is definitely going to end up being Baxter Stockman. So,
That's my mom's most favorite piece. She wouldn't be here if it wasn't.
God damn it. So that's it. Just a little teaser for Mondo. None of us are getting these Mondo turtles, but
Is anybody else going to now watch Goonies today?
I'm not gonna watch Goonies.
No, with the cucarachos for 12 minos, with no sequel, no ganete mino. And he's fucking telling the girl he's where to separate the drugs and the sexual bondage shit when he's translating for the mom. God, that's good shit. You know what I'm talking about in Goonies?
Yeah, but
Yeah, it's so good.
Pete's
so
on
good.
fire today. What's going on?
It's so good.
What happened? Is he sucking
It's
all the?
that energy drink.
It must be.
It's diet. I have one every day. They're really good.
Got some more superpowers.
And I almost nailed the Spanish. It wasn't great, but it was fucking pretty
It wasn't
close.
terrible. That's for sure. Better than I could do.
I mean, I'm probably going to get deported now because I spoke Spanish, but that's neither here nor there.
McFarlane Toys knocking out some more old school looking superpower figures. Is this? I think this is the Atom.
Yeah, ATOM.
Yep. We also have the silly looking Flash.
This is like the other. This is like the other universe Flash, right?
Yeah, he's got the helmet and yeah, he's kind of silly.
Ripped. Look at me.
Just catering to us old school 80s fans. What else we got in there? Lobo. Now this one, I actually may have to pick him up. I'm a big fan of Lobo.
I have no idea what Lobo is.
Really?
He's a fucking biker bad guy from DC.
He's
right?
a bastich.
I know people like him, and I know who the character is when I see it, but I don't know anything about it.
I used to grab a few comics back in the day, and it's just hyper violence, and he swears. Well, doesn't swear. He does comic book swearing, and rides a Harley or a motorcycle.
What's his
anyway.
Marvel counterpart? Does he have one?
I think they try to say that he's sort of like a Wolverine type guy, but I don't know. Ish. He's got attitude.
Does he have healing factor?
He definitely gets busted up and don't die, so I would say so. There was comics I had where he got like bullet riddled and he's just like smoking a cigar. Oh, that'd be another Wolverine thing, wouldn't it? So, just doesn't have the claws. He does have like a chain and a hook and some stuff like that. Mini Pete says Lobo's basically a Dreadnought Superman. Oh, that's right. Jason Momoa is probably going to be him.
And then knowing
You
nothing.
can't. You can't cut.
Right.
Knowing nothing about the character, I can see it though.
Yeah.
He actually did an interview relatively. I seen it recently. I guess I can't say when the interview was, but he mentioned like, hell yeah, I could be like Lobo.
Yeah, he wanted to be
You know what I
Lobo.
mean?
He's a
before
real motorcycle
Aquaman
guy.
type of thing. Yeah.
So he can ride the motorcycle.
He's a real badass.
Yeah, Lobo's the main man. So,
All right.
1-6 Shooter says he turns right to go left. You'd like him, Steve. And then Robin. So, if you're a DC fan and
And that's a Dick Grayson Robin, right?
I believe so. God, that's gotta hurt your fucking
Nuts?
like your groin
Your
area,
nuts with
like,
those little shorts.
like in between like your thigh and your ball area. Like that's gotta just be tight.
Toy like a toy gun.
Tight.
I like it.
Yeah, you would. We also have some SH figure arts, Spider-Man Noir and Spider-Ham. They come together. That's right.
Come together.
Looks to be about $84 or something. It said, but I don't know. I'm a kind of a fan of Spider-Ham.
This
He's
to
cute.
me,
Like these poses are great.
and it is, but these to me, like, and I understand it's multiverse shit, right? But it's like these two characters are like we took Spider-Man, this fastball right down the middle, and we made it as silly as we possibly could, and then we made it as realistic as we possibly could.
Right.
And then we two-packed them.
And then we
what I
threw them
mean?
together.
Like it's weird to me. But I get it's multiverse shit and whatnot, but
Harry O says-
Spider-Ham feels like desperation. Like when somebody wrote that, like, we gotta do something, guys, and they were eating bacon and like, let's figure this out.
Oh, Mini Pete might be right too. I think that's Jason Todd. Harry O says Lobo's the baddest bastich. He's the last of his kind because he killed them all. But yeah, I think these these aren't my figures. I'll never get them or anything. But
This thing's beautiful.
I love what they're
This
offering.
Spider-Man
people,
Noir
and
is
they
beautiful.
They look really cool, and I love the poses for them.
Looks like he's got like a. It's the standard, completely black Spider-Man, the noir that everybody's pretty familiar with. He's got the cool black trench coat and like the detective black hat.
Yeah.
The trench coat appears to be wired, so you can put him in some pretty dynamic
I love that they're
poses.
doing that more often now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if not, it's just cloth that hangs.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
there's nothing you can do with it. If it's not wired, you can't do anything
Yep.
with it.
I remember when I first started bringing hot toys around to this podcast, and I would be showing off the wired clothing, and these guys would be like, "Oh yeah, the wired clothing, you stupid."
Yeah, and so was the comb for Chewbacca's hair, but it didn't stop you from combing him before bed at night.
I was wrong with the $84, $120. So,
Ooh,
Walking Dead, we have, which is it's an interesting time to put out more Walking Dead figures, I
It
suppose. But it looks like McFarlane Toys are doing them. They are 5-inch scale. It looks like they're doing a Walker 4-pack, and they're doing Glenn, Tyrese, Andrea, and the Governor. And it says the Walkers are unarticulated, while the rest have about 20 points of articulation. So, weird, but okay.
Well, but I mean, I guess so that makes sense to me for one if in the event that if that 4-pack is going to be cheap, I
okay.
shouldn't say cheap, cheaper.
Jesus. Yeah.
Like, hey, a zombie figure is $25, so it'd be $100 for a 4-pack.
Yeah.
This 4-pack is $65.99. With unarticulated, because you're just going to put them in they're decoration. They're almost like dio pieces, if
Sure.
you will.
Yeah,
you know
that
what I
makes
mean?
sense.
But the price has got to be there. If it's the same as an articulated figure, like, what the fuck you doing, McFarlane?
Yeah.
great pins in the shoulders there. Those are ugly as shit.
Yeah, those are not good.
No one has them anymore.
Oh, look at! Can we go back to Can we go back and look at Maggie's pins in the picture? Jesus.
Oh,
That's not Maggie.
no, he's talking about the next one.
Oh,
Right there. See it over there?
oh,
Looking all seductive.
Yeah.
So when his head gets bashed in, are you wanting to have dinner? Or?
she could have banged Negan. Did she ever bang Negan yet?
No.
She's gotta.
No. It'd be fucked up if she did, but she might. Governor, man. Nobody talks about the Governor.
How much you want to bet? She like, "Oh, call me Lucille.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
shit.
I love that story arc with the governor.
This guy was a piece of shit,
He was a total piece of shit.
and he rocked it.
Yeah.
He was great.
And I did not love the way they made him look, because I read the comic.
Way different than the comics.
You know what I mean?
Not to mention they lost the whole, like, where his brother actually took his name over and, like,
Right. Well, and they didn't. And like
The
I said,
Road to the Governor. I read that book.
and he so the governor is in the show. He's evil. He's not as evil as the governor is in the book. I mean, they give you enough details of what the governor does in the book to where you're like, there's no question he's pure evil. You know what I mean?
The multiple
Sexual assault stuff.
Yes.
And I mean, he like pushed it beyond the realm of evil.
Yeah.
He was it was Game of Thrones evil in the book. The show didn't give us Game of Thrones level evil. You know what I mean? But the book governor is fucking, you know, Brath, or I can't even think of the guy's names now, but King Joffrey and Ramsay Bolton and like fucking that kind of evil.
Yeah. Vile motherfucker.
Vile, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. But that's another great thing, and we've talked about it 100 times, is that's what we get now.
Yeah.
We're getting real villains.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're getting people that were like, okay, the writer said, I want you to hate this guy. And you go, I hate this guy.
Yeah. And Chris is right. Yeah, he got pretty fucked up in the comics, man. Michonne did some fucked up shit to him, man.
Oh, yeah.
I never
With his
read the
wiener.
comics.
Oh, yeah.
But his story arc was amazing in the show.
Yeah.
Because remember the whole thing where he basically lost everything and he was wandering around.
Yeah, and then he
And
found
found
those
those two-
people. Yeah, those girls.
And it was like he really wanted to take care of them at first, but he just can't. Anytime he gets into a group situation, he can't stop the monster from taking over,
right. Yeah.
and weaponizing everything and trying to, you know, just take.
For the Patreon listeners, Jeremy and Steven recorded an episode last night specifically for you. I was only involved in a minute of it, but that's exactly what I talked about.
Yeah.
If I'm going to survive the zombie apocalypse, I need to immediately rise to power because I can't do anything for myself.
Right, yeah.
I need to be the charismatic leader that gets other people in his court, or I'm fucked.
The spoon. You are so right, Chris. Oh,
Yeah,
God.
he was brought in to answer a question. He said a lot of stuff and never answered the question.
That is true. But at least he came in here.
But at least he
didn't
came
even
in
fucking
here.
Come in here. So.
Travis said, "Fuck you."
So anyway, yeah, years later, they have these Walking Dead figures. They're in 5-inch scale.
Because why not? Why not do something different? hey, I've got these other cool 6-inch scale Walking Dead figures. I need some. I need my Tyrese to be a little smaller. Like,
And-
what are you doing?
Yeah, so I'm not
And
sure
the
what
governor in the
McFarlane's
show
doing here.
was tall. I mean, scale wise, the governor was
Yeah, he was imposing.
He was very imposing. He looked like a fucking CPA with an eye patch, but he was very tall, and that's part of the, "Ooh, I'm the governor."
I think McFarlane's office, they come in there and they're like, "Hey, McFarlane, what do you want to do today?" And he's like, "Make a Walking Dead line." They're like, "How big should they be?" He's got a dartboard on the wall with a bunch of numbers on it. He throws a dart and he goes, "Make it 5 inches."
Hey,
Next.
how many points of articulation on the zombies? None. And get the fuck out of my office.
Give them a couple stands and there'll be sex.
Well, like I said, that makes sense to me. If you
Yeah.
gave us some poses, I'm gonna put them on the shelf. I get that. You know what I mean? Again, as long as the price point's there.
Yeah. I don't know. Interesting. It's not something I want to get. Laura's got some big, like, statue-y type versions. They're super sweet. And I think, who did them a few years back? Probably about 10 years back now. But they were the smaller, probably about 4-inch versions. They were doing, like, comic and TV show versions.
Yeah, there's a bunch of that
And I
stuff.
swear that the sculpt was even better on
Well,
those.
the comic ones I really liked because they kept them black and white, which the comic was black and white.
Yeah.
And I have a few of those in my collection
Well,
that
they
I
had
just thought
colored
were super
too.
cool.
They had some colored one as well.
Right, but the black
They
and
gave
white
you the
ones were the
option
ones
for
that I kind of
Yeah.
spoke to me. I thought that was super cool.
Yeah. Oh, I miss those days. The early days of The Walking Dead.
Hey, Carver. Carver Customs in the chat.
Hey. All right. Well, we had some Glyos drops the other day. God Beast.
God Beast, yep. Friday night, 9 p.m.
We got the Scarabite Reverse Zoloid, which is I have this figure, but this is the opposite color. So he's black with like the turquoise and pink accents, as opposed to being turquoise with the accents. So, if you're into that guy, there he is. I think there are still some available. Not a lot.
Clio shit.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
So, Raw Shark does the Colgrim Bounty Hunter figures. Do you have pictures of those, I'm assuming?
No, I didn't get the Raw Shark crossover stuff.
Oh, okay. So, anyways, Raw Shark does the Colgrim Bounty Hunter figures. So, God Beast actually took the Scarabite, reversed the colors, and then Raw Shark did his Colgrim sculpt in both that colorway and the original colorway of the Scarabite you have that's not available to be able to do builds. And that was kind of the whole drop was it was a working together, which is one of the coolest things about Glyos. So, did you end up picking that figure up?
I didn't.
You didn't?
No.
I did. I picked that one up. That one right there.
The
Yep.
reverse caliber dome.
I thought you said you didn't have pictures of it.
Oh, well, I guess I did. I thought you meant like the combinations that they did.
No.
Okay.
So this is the Colgrim figure by Raw Shark, the bounty hunter.
Okay.
So this is, and he did it. He did it to match the new reverse Scarabite. Then they also did one to match the previous Scarabite.
Gotcha. Okay.
This one here.
There you go.
So these were the 3 figures that were available. The reverse Zullen figure from God Beast, and then the 2 colorways of both of the Scarabites in this sculpt. So
I love how you know so much more about these than I do.
I picked up.
I just love those colors, though.
These are
so
they're
fun.
amazing. I picked up 2 of these. I picked up 2 of of these, and then 1 of the teal because I don't have the Scarabite, but I wanted to be able to have each one of the figures and then be able to do the build.
Yeah, it was
the combination.
Yeah, that's
build
what I
as
didn't
well.
grab pictures of with the builds that they were
So-
doing. Those are pretty cool, man.
Yep. But yeah, so
Yeah, better jump on them though. They had less than 15 on some of these this morning.
they were low stock this morning. So that's, and again, I don't know Raw Shark or the who does the Colgrim figures, but we actually got to meet Marty Hansen, the God Beast, at Legion's Con, and he is all over the boards. He's super active.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to do, when I did the Dork Lair show, he was the other guest, and he's very active in the Pocket Glyos group as well. So, but yeah, so good on these guys for just creating more shit for us to use to create more shit. Is really what it comes down to.
It's all about
you know?
creating shit.
But,
And that's all the toy news that I brought.
All right.
So I don't know if
Toy
there's
drama?
anything
We
else.
probably don't have any toy drama.
Oh, there's toy drama.
Oh, you do have toy drama.
Well, the Omega Relics.
Oh,
I think
well,
has
yeah,
gotta be
there's
brought
that.
up.
The what?
Okay, let's
The
talk
what?
about this.
Omega Relics.
The guy that scammed, I think he's scamming people. It's pretty apparent, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
so-
one. Well, I got another one too.
Well, but there's more information as of today. Omega Relics has posted and said, "I am a 4-horseman dealer. You are not dealing with me. This was not me. I don't do friends and family. I am a reputable dealer." Because what happened was
So someone stole his identity, kind of thing.
that's so what it's looking like, and I've read the majority of this. So Omega Relics, and I'm finger quotations, Omega Relics posts some figures for sale, stupid pricing, and a lot of people saw it and thought this is too good to be true. Some people talked with them, and the way they spoke. Hey, yep, I'm selling these because I'm getting out of Mythics. I'm going to focus more on Cosmics. Felt like it was somebody that was in the business, blah, blah, blah. So they said, okay. So they bought figures from him. Come to find out, they're like, then they get ghosted. Things look weird. Somebody, Amber Anderson, posted and said, hey, I'm looking for references. Everybody jumped on. Relics is the shit. Good
Okay.
stuff. And they backed Relics. So these people bought with friends and family, both Mark House Seal and Amber Anderson. They bought with confidence based on references. They used friends and family. And then all of a sudden they're getting ghosted. They start calling out Omega Relics. And people are like, I don't know, guys, this dude's legit. And they start sharing conversations. And then all of a sudden, somebody's like, wait a minute. So Omega Relics posted and says, this isn't me. This is me here. I'm reputable. I don't use this. This is a scam. Wow. Jeremy Gerard jumps on and says, guys, Omega, he is authorized. He's in the, he's good. So yeah, I don't know what happened, but initially Omega Relics took a ton of flack for something that he or she didn't do. I don't know if it's a he or a she, but it sounds like they're getting to the bottom of it now. I don't know if there's going to end up being any resolution for the people that got scammed.
Right.
But based on everything that I have read, we have verified that Omega Relics caught flack that he or she did not deserve. That somebody pulled some shit.
Screwed
Damn.
up,
Yeah.
screwed him.
Damn.
So I was glad to see people stuck with it and they
Yeah.
were able to get the real information out there because
Bummer people
Omega
got ripped off.
right. And that sucks.
Yeah.
It's a bummer people got ripped off, and if he's truly innocent, it's a bummer. He's
Yeah,
getting
he's
And I
taking
shades for
flack
something he didn't
it.
do.
Yeah.
Right. And I was glad to see that people gave that they were able to get the information out there and hopefully square this away.
Yeah.
Amber, Mark, that sucks.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I will tell you, the people that pissed me off the most, should have done good. Fuck you. Should have done good service. Fuck you. What good does that do now?
Yeah.
These people did everything right in our world.
Right,
It is
because
very
they thought they
common.
were legit people.
It's very common. Omega Relics is selling something. Hey, Omega Relics is listed on the 4 Horsemen site. Hey, looking for a reference check on Omega Relics. Everybody jumps in, says, buy with confidence, buy with
People
confidence.
you trust said trust this
Right.
guy.
They do it, and then the first thing you're going to say is, "Oh, yeah, that's why I always do good." Fuck you. I'm like, I wanted to message Curtis and be like, kick all these motherfuckers out of here. They're not helping the situation any, And honestly, that was the part that drove me the most crazy, was because the cabal let the information play out appropriately because it looked like people got screwed. And Mark and Amber, none of them were wrong for doing what they did. They got screwed by somebody.
Yeah.
Now, they got scammed. That happens, and that sucks. But they let the whole situation play out. They didn't sanitize any of the information. We were able to get to the bottom of it and make Omega Relics free and clear of what he or she was being accused of and kind of get to the bottom of it. Now, it may not get resolution for the people that got scammed, which that does suck.
Yep.
But we were able to save a reputable dealer's reputation because honestly, Omega Relics is just as much of a victim as Mark and Amber, maybe even more so. Now, again, huge asterisk. That is my understanding of it. And I think I've read all the parts and pieces. So
Oh, not the same name. They just didn't want the confusion. Okay. Thick Neck's chiming in here.
which one's Thick Neck?
1-6.
Oh,
Thick dick.
So it sounds like two different names, two similar names.
Oh, they're close.
Okay.
Omega Relics and
So-
Omega Toys, maybe?
Okay, so
Okay.
I 1/6 shooter. I apologize. So then the scammer was the scammer's name was too similar. So when they said, "Hey, doing a reference check," people reference checked the legit Omega
Right.
inadvertently. Thank you, 1/6 shooter. I appreciate that. Everything I read but confuses the two Omegas. They're both called Omega, 1/6 shooter. Fucking people confuse you and Nate Strong all the time. How is that any different?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Don't confuse me with Lord Stephen Bouchard. Duh.
But yes, so there's your clarification. Thank you, 1/6 shooter. They both have the word Omega in the title. Or maybe I'm wrong on that too. Personal, I don't know.
All right.
It's grammar.
Sorry.
Chris Durant with the laughing faces. Every time he posts a laughing face, I just see his huge ass smile, and I just smile.
Yep.
So, Omega Toys just didn't want to get confused with Omega Relics.
Okay.
Relics played a long con. Okay. Thank you guys, Dusty
Good
and
to
Rick.
I was sent some stuff from Christopher Kelly today. He actually sent it to Travis.
From
but-
space.
Yes.
Oh, we're that little blue dot.
This is Steve's Toys. Still
Not to be
working.
confused with not to be confused with the Lord.
Steve's Art and Comics.
Still work in progress. Still taking backers for the STL files. These are 3D files for a tankard of some sort.
Looks like one of the green tank from Joe.
It looks like a
Yes.
Joe vehicle. Is this that thing that can be like the land bridge or
Yeah.
Well, it looks like it has.
the bridge layer and or the tank or something else maybe?
I don't know.
Yes. Thing is, if you go to this next one, Ramen Toy. They're tagging Ramen Toy because remember Ramen Toy was working on this.
That's what I thought. I thought it was a ramen toy project.
Can we?
I don't-
Can we take a quick step back?
Yes.
Now, Ramen Toy has they're the company that has maybe done some things that people thought was kind of funny licensing wise. Is that correct?
They do IPs
Okay.
of things without getting licenses.
Okay, I just wanted to make
I
sure.
don't know if
I
they
think
do
they're able to
so-
get away with it. I think they're a
because
Singapore.
they're not in the
yeah.
U.S.
Yes.
And I'm not
So-
sure they've never gotten a license, but I know that there are many.
But we know that
occasions
there's some that were like,
Right.
They did.
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
But that's only speculation.
Okay.
So this Jamie Shumati or Shumate or I don't know how to say it, but Shumati now tags Ramen Toy and says, I don't know if you knew this, but Steve's Toys, also known as Steve Cock, is trying to produce 3D files of your tanks before you can get them to production. He's copying everything you've done to beat you to the market. It wouldn't be the first time he got a cease and desist if you were to pursue it. The guy is a rapist, by the way.
What? What?
So then we get a picture of this beautiful man
With some
hot chicks.
with some ladies,
which means nothing. He's just with some girls,
but
right?
Why is there a link to Porn Star Babylon?
and I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
So Cheyenne Jewel at XXX Porn Talk says LTS. I don't know what that LTS Suite case pimp is S. I don't know if that means sus or S. I have no idea what any of that means. It says, I found him in the AVN directory under producers. You'd think everyone under that title would be real producers, but any idiot can lie and pay the money to get in. I didn't know that at the time. He claimed to be a content provider for clients. I show up and shoot. He gives me this.
This is not a con artist. This guy is a genius.
Well, tomato, tomato. He gives me this lame excuse of how his client has to send a payroll check within a week after the accountant takes taxes out, blah, blah, blah. A week goes by, no check. I call and he says another will be sent out. I wait again, no check. I realize I've been totally scammed, let alone raped, in a sense that I would have never had relations with his disgusting ass. I start researching him, talk to a couple other girls who'd also had bad run-ins with him in the past few years. I also run across a blog he posted on spankwire.com with this profile. which says, I hope you enjoy
I hope you all enjoy these movies. These are personal videos of all the girls that I've hooked up with over the last 10 years. All the girls in the video are 100% cool with being on film, and all the girls were 18 or over when being filmed. All 2,257 laws were followed. Enjoy these videos and feel free to download them and share with your friends. I will upload more soon. I can also make custom movies for low prices. Email me at my email address that I'm not going to say on the show for more details.
Okay, so I wanna touch on a couple things briefly. You got screwed. You got defrauded.
Yeah.
Okay. There was laws broken, and you don't get to use the R word. You got duped, you got scammed, you got defrauded, you got lied to,
and then when you didn't get paid, you're like,
it's
is
that you can't
I'm
throw
not sure.
you cannot throw that word around.
Yeah.
You got screwed, and you deserve justice for what happened to you, and I'm sorry that happened to you, but you cannot use that word. Okay? You willingly went, you consented to all of it. You didn't get paid, which is crap, and you deserve to get paid for that, and I hope this guy gets what he's got coming to you, but that word is not fair to use because there are victims out there that have had that happen to them, and you are not them.
Correct. When you get into the chat, though, so Jamie Shumati said all this happened in 2009. Just read the forum. When I say rape, I mean he coerced women under false pretenses for sex. The law considers that rape. It was a money exchange where he lied and pretended to be a producer and uploaded it all to the internet.
Then I will stand corrected. Mm-hmm. But you could have added a few words to that very first post that, in the eyes of the law, this is considered a form of the R word, and not said it the way that you said it.
But if he pays her, then it's a form of prostitution.
But it's not prostitution because it was for video. It was a business deal. That's the difference.
Yep.
If you film it, it's not prostitution.
So again, I will not. It's not. You're exactly right. It's
good to know, I guess.
And at the end of the day, and prostitution. Okay, so can we? Let's talk about that. Why is prostitution illegal?
Oh, I can't give you an answer for that at all.
Do you want the answer?
Please.
It's because the federal government doesn't get any money.
Okay, that's total sense.
Prostitution is illegal because the government can't get their cut. That's all it is. In the grand scheme of things, now, yes, typically prostitutes have other issues. Johns have other issues, and there's a certain type of person that finds themselves in that situation.
Well,
but at the end of the day,
illegal or not, it's by most people's standards immoral.
Yeah.
Or by many people's standards, I guess I should say.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
But yes, that's the difference is if I pay you $100 to videotape us having sex, that is illegal. But if I pay you $100 just to have sex in the minivan behind the Quick Mart, that is illegal. And it's because you're not claiming it and the government can't tax your ass. And that's my stance.
There you go.
So the world according to Pete.
No, we know.
Yes, I will not argue the legal statute that does qualify as the R word, but I will tell you that you used it in a fashion knowing the outcry and backlash that was going to cause, and you could have been more specific. Because I will tell you that a slime ball is a slime ball, a scuzz bucket, a piece of shit, a human dumpster fire. If he might be all of those things, but he doesn't necessarily deserve to be called the R word, because there are R word people out there that they deserve to be called that and punished accordingly.
Sure.
So,
regardless, the whole point is, so not only is he ripping off files from a company who might be...
He's ripping off panties.
So basically, if you guys ever see this guy, he's probably not a good dude, and you probably don't want to hang out with him, according to, all of the verbiage from these people.
Chris Durant says, it gets tricky, winky face. Now I want to go to Chris Durant's website because I bet he's got it figured out. No wonder that motherfucker's smiling all the time. He's got a library that's 2,000 videos deep. I'd be smiling all the time too.
Kind of a dick move, though.
Oh, a huge dick. The guy's human. If this is true,
Yeah.
this guy's a human piece of garbage.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I will tell you that I'm not hurt that he's ripping off ramen toys based on their reputation. This kind of sounds like, how does it feel? But the women, that's bullshit. That's absolute bullshit, and they do deserve justice for that. It needs to be the appropriate justice.
Yeah. It does make me wonder, like, you know, if he's producing these toys and all that stuff, like how many other companies is he ripping off their files and jumping on it and, you know, doing his own thing. But
so I look at this and, oh, you're stealing STL files from ramen? That's like Jeremy going to the police because I took his cocaine.
right.
You know, like, okay. So,
Yep.
oh.
So there you go.
You got to take that?
Yep.
Oh, it's a work call. It's important.
He's in trouble.
All right, go ahead. We'll keep, is that all for drama? What?
Oh, sorry.
What?
It's because we keep dropping the R word. He's getting old.
There's some things I'm trying not to say anymore, and that to me
you
is
know,
one,
I guess
you know?
I should have thought
Jeremy
about that.
doesn't give a damn.
Hey, I censor some stuff.
The problem is, but you were reading in context.
That's true.
Now, the problem is there's some people sitting at home going, because they're thinking it's the other R word. And they're putting that R word into that context, and they're super confused. You know what I mean? They're like, I kept saying
Gotcha.
R word.
There's two R words.
There's two
Yeah.
R words,
Yeah.
and they're thinking it's the other one. They're going, "What the fuck is wrong with Pete today, man? He is so stupid." Which they would be right. So,
And that's all the toy drama we have.
and now I just got two big old cheesy smiles from Chris Durant. I knew it. So. So are we to do a little what are you watching before we go into toys, or are we going to flip it? What do you want to do?
I don't know. I guess we have to wing it now.
Yeah, we're going to wing it. So I did finish Deadwood, and I enjoyed it. I thought the time lapse was great. One of the most impressive things to me with that show was they got everybody back for that movie.
Yeah.
Everybody. Every main character was in that. It was in the movie, and it was years later.
Yep.
I mean, it was only 10 years in the show, but it was almost 20 in real life, right? I believe.
Yeah, something like that. I'll look it up.
Wow.
But yeah,
But I
kinda
mean,
crazy.
all of those characters came back.
like
and
somebody
I thought,
didn't die and somebody they didn't.
Yeah. In the now there was. I'm trying to remember one of, if I'm not mistaken, there was
13 years.
13 years. So they did they 10 years passed, you know, but in the actual, like, in the universe 10 years passed. But yeah, it was so they did 3 seasons, and I did a little research because I was curious as to why it got canceled, dipping ratings and the expense. And I'm not surprised that it was expensive because they built an entire old western town and they did a great job.
Yeah.
I mean, it was it's not like you can just, oh, hey guys, we're going to rent out this high school gymnasium and use it this weekend for this shoot. Like, they built everything from the ground up. And, but yeah, I thought it was super fun. And I thought that they brought things together. They put a nice, the movie actually left me wanting more. Like, I would have been happy to see more, but they did put a good bow on it. They did,
Yes,
they
I
did
agree.
wrap it up. They gave me a nice little package. I can walk away from Deadwood going, I enjoyed that. I'm glad I watched it. And I can move on to something else to watch now. And they did it justice.
And it was supposed to take place 10 years later. So even though it was 13 in real life, so they looked appropriately.
But if it started and they did 3 seasons, so if Deadwood started this year, they did 3 years and then stopped to 13 and 10. I mean, so maybe it actually was 10 years. No. Oh, you
13.
did it from the time that it ended.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So
Yeah, that's pretty. I mean, because you think of other shows that have done something like that, like Breaking Bad, for example. They did the El Camino. Was it El Camino?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I didn't finish Breaking Bad.
Oh, you didn't? Bummer. The Fly episode ruined it for me.
Oh,
dude. When you,
42 minutes of him chasing a fly through a meth lab, and I thought,
but
I gotta
it wasn't about the
I gotta walk
fly.
away. I gotta walk away.
I get it. Some people hate
At
that
one
episode,
point, he's
but I
bending his wife
appreciate it.
over and banging her head against the refrigerator. I'm like, I'm all in. And then it's chasing a fly, and it said, I'm out.
Well, they did kind of a similar thing. There were some things that were kind of left open,
Right.
and they ended up doing like a movie a few years after the show had ended. But the problem is, like, the guy who played Todd. Did you watch Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
Okay. The guy who played Todd, this real piece of shit dimwit guy, he like got fat in that time, and this is supposed to take place like days after, right. And it's like he's like kind of, and they're doing flashbacks as well. He's like fatter, right. And you're like, I mean, I gotta suspend some disbelief here or whatever, but yeah, it was.
And now that guy's thin again.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
He
probably got what, fat for a role or something.
I think it was something like that.
One of the craziest things to me. So I don't recall the character's name, but he was actually the first time I saw him as an actor. He was the father in The Killing, and he's been in a bunch of other stuff, but he is in the show. He's running against Timothy Oliphant's character for sheriff of Deadwood. Well, 10 years later, he's like the assistant sheriff or whatever, right? And Timothy Oliphant just has a better mustache. 13 years later, he's still a fucking dime piece. This other guy is fat. He's all gray. I'm like, man, 10 years is a big difference between... I'm going to stand up and look here.
I know nothing about this show.
Brent Sexton, who played Harry. That guy there, Cody.
Okay.
He just, from what he looked like, and it's funny too, because I feel like this guy here.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He then and now, but what's kind of funny is, so that's him, long hair and what have you in Deadwood. But I almost kind of think it's like Timothy Oliphant was kind of an age where he probably aged as much as a guy like Timothy Oliphant's going to,
right?
Where this other guy went from young to being middle-aged, where Timothy Oliphant just kind of stayed a good-looking middle-aged,
right?
And it looks so much different. But Ian McShane was great throughout the entire series.
Yeah.
But the guy, so the antagonist in the show, 10 years later, comes back. He's the goddamn governor of California, and he's an absolute piece of shit. And I remember him from my childhood. He played Major Dad. So it was that sitcom, where he was the buttoned up military father, and he's like this piece of shit on here, and he did such a great job at that. The character development was great. And
Major Dad,
and just some of the story arcs and the characters' relationships, it made, in a really relatively short time, it made you care about the characters, and it made you care about what happened to them. And there was a bunch of happy endings, and there was some not so happy endings, and there was some great redemption arcs. And
how many seasons did Deadwood have?
Only 3.
Only 3.
Yep, 3 seasons, and I think they're 12 or 13 episode seasons, and they're a full hour plus, hour 5,
right?
Because it was HBO, they could do that. But definitely worth the watch if you hadn't watched it before. It was, like I said, I really enjoyed it.
She was in Breaking Bad,
dude. Every time you turn around there, every time they saw a new character, like Titus Welliver showed up, and I fucking love that guy, especially like in Bosch. But yeah, there was
no idea what you just said.
Bosch is a TV show that was based on a book about a LAPD detective, named Hieronymus Bosch, and his mother was a prostitute that was murdered. And he was named after a famous artist named Hieronymus Bosch.
Jesse says, what I'm taking away from this episode, governors are all bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So, especially on a vehicle.
Oh.
Wow. What if I want to go faster? Who the fuck you think you are, Ford? Tell me I can only go so fast. Leave that to law enforcement.
So have we decided not to do the Rushmore thing? Because
we fucking do it. Fuck Travis. We don't need Travis. I mean, it was his idea, and then he didn't even fucking show up.
Well, you need 4 spots. So is Cody our 4th spot? We each pick one.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll give it to Cody, or we can save it if it's that important to you guys to have Travis involved.
I just didn't know how we were going to handle the 4 thing. 3 versus 4.
We could. I'm sure he's awake. We could probably text him.
He's upstairs. I can hear him. He's like upstairs, but he's entertaining guests.
Right, he has guests.
And he'll probably just say, fuck you guys.
80s cartoons? Or what is
Yeah,
it?
Yeah. 80s cartoon Mount Rushmore. This is our Mount Rushmore for the week. The rule is first season had to have premiered in the 80s. We're going to pick 4 spots. Each one of us is going to pick one. And there can usually be a veto, but maybe not this week because we might not have a 5th person to veto any.
You're going to hear the most dickish voicemail ever.
I can hear something.
I'm not answering my phone now. I'll call you back if it seems appropriate.
That is the biggest dickhead shit ever.
It's just taken from a book.
Yeah, it's a Stephen King book.
That
Oh, okay. Mine used to be the whole sequence in UHF when Weird Al's all super sad and he's Uncle Nutsy and he's like staring into the camera and he's talking about the Roadrunner, just and the coyote that constantly gets, hurt and maimed, and I hope you enjoy it. And he freaks out. Yeah, that was my voicemail.
The only appropriate voicemail ever is singing the chorus to Spiderwebs by No Doubt as Gwen Stefani.
Stevie,
Leave
go
a
first.
message and I'll call you back.
I go first. If I'm going first, I'm going to pick the coup de grace, which would have got picked anyways if I wouldn't have
Silverhawks.
picked it.
Good call.
It is, of course, the first cartoon to ever be in syndication.
Just fucking say it.
He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Boom.
Boom.
On the Mount
You said
Rushmore.
You said it. Who goes next?
You.
Me? All right. So I can't pick my favorite. I'm torn on this one because I want to pick Ninja Turtles, right?
Right.
It did debut in the 80s
Yep,
and got
87.
popular in the 80s.
Okay.
But I arguably would say that it was more popular in the 90s. And if we were doing a 90s Mount Rushmore, I feel like the Turtles might end up on that. So I'm kind of
Why can't it
torn
be on
here.
both?
Oh, well, I didn't consider that.
Because I think the rule was when it started.
Well, the rule is that in order to be on the 80s Rushmore, it has to have debuted in the 80s. But that
Right.
doesn't preclude it from being one of the most popular in the 90s. Now, if you said, hey, it's got to debut in the 90s, then Turtles couldn't be on the 90s Rushmore.
That's true.
And now we're just saying most popular cartoons of the 90s,
Yeah.
and it's going to be up there. You know what I mean?
So, for that reason alone, I am going
There's
to...
only 4 correct answers.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
a pretty easy one. I feel.
This is really kind of a fucking fastball right over the middle.
It is
So
an easy one.
Is it?
It's super easy.
Transformers,
Right.
I feel.
And then I go Turtles. And Travis says G.I. Joe, and we all go, yeah, that's 4. That's it. Because I mean, what,
Is that it? Is
What,
that
what
the
are the
4?
other competitions?
Muppet Babies?
Thundercats.
DuckTales.
DuckTales. Dude,
But did that drop in the 80s?
oh, yeah. DuckTales was
Definitely.
87.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know that for certain.
Yep.
I mean, you could argue.
Muppet Babies was huge.
Okay, Steven, you could
But-
you could argue
Argue.
anything, right? I mean, but at the end of the day, you talk about you talk
Yeah,
about
just-
you
just
talk about the big
cartoons.
you talk about the big 4. You know,
Yeah,
that's
you're
that's
you're
going to be
right.
it. That's
You're
your
probably
Mount
right.
Rushmore.
Yeah.
Joe, Transformers, Turtles,
I say
He-Man.
in the 80s, things like DuckTales, and there is a lasting legacy. People absolutely still love it. Has a banger of a frickin' theme song. Muppet Babies was absolutely huge as well.
But how far are you going to push it? Because
But right, does it
popularity
have a
wise,
right. Does it
Care
have a-
Bears is going to be on somebody's Mount Rushmore.
right.
As far as
And do
popularity
they have
goes,
a lasting legacy?
How can you not mention the Smurfs?
That too.
because none of
Smurfs
us
was
collect
huge.
anything Smurfs. That's how we don't mention it.
Right.
That's the same reason we don't mention Care Bears. If we were to say what's the Mount Rushmore of the most popular children's cartoons that debuted in the 80s,
Yeah.
the 4 that we picked, they might not even be in the fucking top 10. If you really, you know what? Hey, bring it up, would you? Most popular children's cartoons that debuted in the 80s.
Ooh, we're gonna see what the internet says.
Yeah.
Because again, as far as popularity goes, there could have been a Barbie cartoon in the 80s that was the most popular thing.
Well, I'd say My Little Pony. Maybe.
My Little Pony, hell yes,
Yeah.
would be up there.
That was pretty huge.
Joe, Transformers, Dino Riders, Mask are the top 4 according to this list that Cody
The
randomly
real
pulled off the internet.
Ghostbusters.
Are they the top, or
I
are they
mean,
just?
no, it's
No,
some
it's
random
just
list.
IMDb.
but
Oh, okay.
I can't really see.
Let's
it.
say
I
the
can't
real.
see them beating out.
No. 10 best cartoons of the 80s. Pull that one up. Dungeons and Dragons.
I love that cartoon.
Super Ted, which
Don't even-
no one remembers.
I don't even
saw
remember
it,
that.
but
Jesus.
This is an opinion.
The
piece.
real Ghostbusters.
The real Ghostbusters
Juggernaut.
have huge impact. But
Transformers.
Transformers has been constant ever since.
Name one person that is of sound mind, that is over the age of 14, that you could give the 4 that we picked, and they wouldn't know any of them.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
Super Ted? What the fuck?
Yeah, right.
I don't even remember that.
Okay,
There-
so right here. So determining the top 3 most popular in the 80s with viewership ratings. And, okay, number 1 is the Smurfs, Muppet Babies, and then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Wow.
A lot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was more widely popular than He-Man. He-Man was a little bit more niche.
yeah.
You
No,
know?
He-Man it had a few years and it was
Right.
gone.
But this is our Mount Rushmore,
Right.
and I think we nailed it.
Yep.
I think we went 4 for 4.
I think we're right.
I think undisputably we went 4 for 4.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
But, again, I don't know how accurate that is either.
No. What do you call BS on there, Christoph Nord? Mini Pete, Rainbow Bright. Yeah, Voltron. I wish Voltron, like a lot of people don't really remember Voltron. Probably more so than like Silverhawks.
Oh, you mean Wish.com Power Rangers?
boy. Smurfs, according to that, Smurfs was number 1. Smurfs was huge, Maverick. I don't think you understand.
But Smurfs applied to everybody.
Everybody.
You know what I
They
mean?
were popular before they had the cartoon. They had the little, I forget the name of the company. It was with like an SCH, some German company. But they had, little PVC figures and stuff like that. But that cartoon was everywhere. It was all over the place. We all knew who the fucking Smurfs were.
Right.
And there was like, I don't know, maybe you said this because I was reading, but there's like 14 seasons or whatever.
Yeah.
There's tons of episodes of Smurfs.
Great production value.
Who's your favorite Smurf? You got one?
Oh, no, I don't really. If I did, it'd probably be Papa.
You got a favorite Smurf?
I can't think of the Smurfs without being like, I can't believe they didn't call her Sore Smurf or something. Like, she's the only female in this entire population. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it's just.
But she was a
That's
clone.
It's a
She was a magic spell
It's a
from
schmack bang.
Gargamel.
Yeah, she
So-
was. Well, mine,
Inspector Gadget.
Oh, that was huge.
my favorite Smurf, I think, is Vanity.
That sounds about right.
He's hilarious.
Who was the comedian Smurf? There was a
Jokey.
funny one. Yeah.
The one that we gave presents that blew up all the time?
Yeah.
Was Vanity the one that was always like,
Yes, he had the mirror.
Was he always whining
See,
about
I would have
shit?
thought you would have been the one that's always working out.
Hefty would
Hefty.
be right there.
Hefty.
And when I was a kid,
Brainy
I would
Smurf
have.
was always a favorite of mine just because I liked his character for whatever
He's
reason.
such a dick. I like
Right.
it too. But I think that if you would ask me when I was 9, I'd have said Hefty. But now that I'm older, I think it's Vanity.
Yeah, I think Papa, just because he was kind of like the guy. Like, he was the one that everybody kind of looked
Call
up
me
to. He was
Daddy.
the moral guy, you know? But, I mean, you had the clumsy.
He was the Morel guy in the Mushroom House.
Yeah. God damn it.
That's called a comeback, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing it.
Although, I mean, these days, I'm probably more like Greedy. Since I'm a big fat bastard.
I do like. Is it Grumpy?
Yeah. He was fun.
Because I just like how he just said I hate everything.
Yeah.
You know? Did you know that Vanity Smurf was voiced by Alan Oppenheimer?
Oh.
The guy that invented the atomic bomb.
Yes.
That guy. Yeah.
And Skeletor.
Brainy was the Starscream version of the Smurf.
Was it? Oh, not his voice.
No.
His Starscream version. Yeah, I can see that.
Christopher Kelly says Snorks was definitely better than Smurfs.
No.
Oh. You know, my dice snorks.
Rick Jones says Team Gargamel. Rick Jones, bitch.
Frank Welker was Hefty Smurf. Frank
Why do I know-
Welker was
Why do I know that
everybody.
name?
Because he did
Megatron?
every voice ever.
Okay. that's why.
Megatron, he did Ray and Slimer in the Ghostbusters. He did everything else.
He did a lot.
B Boop says the real question is Mount Rushmore for 90s cartoons.
Well, maybe we'll get
It's
there.
going to be another episode, won't it?
So I guess that means that since we were going oldest to youngest, that means that Jeremy is on the hook for the topic for next time.
week.
Yep.
All right.
All right, I think that's a show.
No.
Not at all.
Okay, not
Thanks,
a
UPS
show?
guy.
Holy shit!
Thanks, UPS guy.
I got nothing. So
I got plenty. Go ahead, Jeremy.
All right. I got some. I'm going to start with, and I don't even know the name of them, but this Glyos / Plunderling, not Plunderling Glyos figure. That's it. That's all I got. That's all I can say about him. He's sweet. Isn't he like some vampire type thing? Is that what you were saying?
Vampire-esque, yeah.
I asked you because you know better than I do. All I said was, hey, he looks like a... I gotta sneeze. He looks like a plunderling, and I love me some plunderlings, so...
I did not buy that one
He
in
also
that sale.
He also came with this reptile-y or amphibian-y kind of froggy nugget. Pretty cool. But I will keep him looking like this guy. Little plunderling feller. Little vampire guy. Comes with a little backpack. What? And you can plug some shit into it. I don't know what. We'll find out. He got some weapons, his little necklace. He came with another one too, but this is the cool one because it hangs.
The one that Steve O'Beg purchased.
what's that, like $40 for that?
It was probably like 20.
Yeah, 20 or 18 or 22, I think. for
Yeah,
that
somewhere around there.
one. Oh. All right. So from
I'm not done.
oh, sorry. I was gonna.
Oh, I thought he acted like it was done. You said
Yeah,
something like
you
You
were
did
like-
say you're like that's
yeah.
it.
Yep.
Yeah, well that's fine.
I totally thought you were done.
No, I was saying that's it for him. That's all I had to say about
Okay,
him.
well,
You guys, fellas.
Well, and be more specific, I guess.
I figured it was right out there. But...
Filthy whore.
I
Dak.
also got this Horde Trooper Prime. But before I show you that, I'm going to show you the little robot that came with him. He's like one of Skeletor's little robots, but it's the Horde version of him.
Yeah, I don't like that.
You don't like it?
I like the looks of it. I don't like that Hordak has the same robot.
Oh. Well, that's true. But look. His head turns.
I liked that the Horde Troopers kind of have the same look as a robot knight. Just
So like Skeletor ripped off.
like he
the-
kind of copied the idea.
design
I
from-
like that.
Yeah. And then of course the actual Horde Trooper Prime himself. Oh boy, he felled. Let me.
That's a pretty cool figure.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this guy. A unique arm attachment there, but he also comes with this extra arm here, which has your classic Roboto axe on it. It comes with your Roboto gun. They're all translucent red. Roboto hand,
Oh, an E-trap jaw.
and then a trap jaw blaster. So there you go. Does not have the wired cape. It's just a flimsy little shiny dangly one. But yeah, there you go. Horde Trooper Prime. And I think this button should make him fall apart, but it's not. So boom, boom, boom. And his head's on a ball, so it does this. So he's cool. And the last thing that I brought is we finally got the Super 7 Rat King.
Oh wow. Wow, that's that is hitting some nostalgia.
Yeah, that's a pretty great representation of the original.
He's a little bit different, but it is not like we were originally presented. Remember, it had that shitty, like,
Oh, it's based on a video game or something.
young-looking head, which I did bring those as well. The cheesy-looking kind of...
Oh yeah. Okay.
Kind of caused some outcry.
Yeah, that head. But yeah, this guy is pretty much damn near on point with the vintage Rat King. There are some differences. His cat belt, for example, which they show in pictures going on front, but then if you put this flute and this like Rat King staff in it, then it kind of covers his face, so it's a little ridiculous. And this was supposed to be a belt originally. It went around his waist. So okay, I mean it's there, it's just a little different. The other thing, he comes with this like rat, like I guess whip or something, but it doesn't
rat lasso?
unravel. It just sits there and hangs. What's that?
It's like a rat lasso.
Yeah. And then he comes with like this pipe knife. Does not come with crossbow, which that was
that's
like
weird.
his
That was
main
kind of-
weapon.
and it had a
he
rat
also
on it.
had the rat hook.
Yeah.
So neither of those are in this, which kind of sucks. But I mean, he looks very similar to that old figure.
I mean, you look at it, you know exactly what you're looking at.
right, and
So there is that.
Right. Oh yeah.
So as far as the representation, he looks pretty damn good. Just kind of confused about some of the accessories, but not enough to where I'm gonna throw him against the wall and be upset. So, and anyone that displays him with that extra head is a stupid idiot moron. So, that's it.
Is that it, or is that just it for him?
That is both actually.
Oh, okay. Glad we're clear.
So, guys are cranky.
No, you snapped it to us.
I got a couple of figures on a trade deal with Gabriel Barragan, and so these are Toy Pizza Knights of the Slice Glyos figures.
Oh shit!
And these are like Dorklayer is obsessed. He's a big fan. Well, I found out that they have this guy Firefight, so of course I had to have him. If I understand correctly, 2016 New York Comic Con exclusive, maybe I don't.
So he's
remember.
been out a minute.
Yep. So I was able to get my hands on him, and then I also got this Deep Space Diver, which is kind of cool too. So these are 3 3/4 inch. So they're
they're a little bigger.
Yep, they're GI Joe sized. So Knights of the Slice, Toy Pizza Knights of the Slice, they have a Patreon. It's $30 a month, and every 2 months you get 2 figures in the mail. So it's $30 a figure. And again, you get 6 shipments a year of 2 figures. I am not signed up for that, but I just wanted to throw some love to Toy Pizza guys.
Yeah.
So
That's $30 a figure. But they are big.
Yeah.
Like, they're all on this scale.
yeah, and all this stuff is one of the things that, at least best I can tell from everything I've looked at, this stuff, you get it and then you can't.
Yeah.
It's all limited run. So you jump in on the order. They post up, hey guys, we got a sale coming at 9:00 on Thursday night. You jump on and you get your figures. Once they're sold out, they're sold out. And then if you want them, it's aftermarket. They don't, like, these don't go to second run. I'm sure that there's probably some that have at some point, but it kind of feels like part of the Glio shtick is that you get it or you don't. You know what I mean? And of course, limited runs, limited quantities. It's is probably part of the reason that there is
Fervor? Fear of missing out?
Oh yeah, the pricing, the FOMO. But that's part of the reason.
I'm
the
a FOMO
pricing is where it
sexual,
is
so I
on
get
a
it.
lot of these. So Dorklayer says there's a lot of other perks and exclusive access with the Patreon. I didn't look into it a ton. Like I said, I just wanted to.
I'll tell you that.
If you dig these guys, there is a way that you can actually get. I believe one of the exclusive perks, if I'm not mistaken, Bill, and you can correct me, is early access to certain figures and insider information and stuff as well. So, but yeah, the space guy comes with a whole pocket full of accessories. Cool robo arm, another head, a cool drill bit arm.
I like the robo
So,
arm. That's
yeah.
very similar to like early robot stuff. 60s stuff.
So I saw that arm, and the first thing I thought of was Lost in Space.
Yes.
Of course, yes.
Yep.
So
Nice drill there.
to go along with the figure that Jeremy showed, that was a Biomonsters drop from a couple weeks ago. I opted to go with the same colorway that Jeremy bought that little vampire guy, and I got my Biomass monster. And
I
did.
fucking love those, and I pass them up every time.
So I bought 2 because in the picture they did 2 different builds, and I had to have both of them.
nice.
So I bought doubles so I could do the 2 different builds. Absolutely super fun and super cool.
I want to trade my ugly colored one for like one of the neon colored ones. with somebody.
As much as I liked
bucks.
the little figure that you got, they had some things that I had already been eyeing on that site. So I picked up my rainbow one.
God damn it, that's fucking
I
cool.
had
too.
to have it. So I did. I opted for. I got rid of one of the new releases to get some. So I got 5 biomass in this order. That's all I got was this sculpt. And then the last one that I got was this. And so from what I'm reading or from what I understand, and I might be wrong, I kind of thought it was cool because it kind of feels prototypey.
Right.
But the idea, from what I understand, is that it's kind of an homage to Muscle Men.
I was gonna say it
Yep.
reminds me of Muscle. So
And I only know one person that collects muscles. So
oh shit!
I got a gift for a friend
shit
because I know he likes the sculpt and I know he's a muscle guy. But so this was my order. I love that little mini.
Thanks, man.
So you're welcome. They kind of vampire-esque was kind of that color scheme, the gray and the red and the black.
yeah.
And
I love that color scheme.
Me too, and I love that little mini one they had in the picture. So I literally I had to get the second one for that. So
Fits in nice with this guy.
Yep.
The Horde Trooper.
But,
Well, that's fucking cool, man.
Yep. So I got. I have a whole nother lunch pail full. But I'm gonna say. I did. I had to bring 2 lunch boxes today. So I have way more.
He's putting stickers on his lunchbox and shit now.
So yeah. But I'm gonna save some of those. I'm gonna try to spread them out a little bit because I'm not gonna be able to get some every week.
Yeah.
But yeah. I got a. I've been able to. I'm pretty sure that I've been fortunate enough to be able to purchase something from every Glyos drop that has occurred from every company since Legion's Con. So
You're pretty on it. I'll give you that.
I'm trying, and I do try to be a good moderator in the Pocket Glyos site. I do try to let everybody know that the sales are coming. But yeah, so super excited. So now I'm up to.
Wait, you're a moderator in the Pocket Glyos site?
It's his group.
It's my group. The
Oh.
Adventures of Pocket Glyos. That's my group.
Oh,
132 members in that silly bitch.
It's pretty sweet.
So, but yeah, so this puts me up to 1, 2. I think I only had 2 of this sculpt, 2 of the biomass monster sculpts. So now I have 6.
Nice.
Yeah, man, a lot of fun,
cool.
and so I've been enjoying it thus far.
Yeah, that biomass guy. There's some colorways that are pretty
he's-
exciting.
at least he's not
only-
still just bringing in dice.
The only,
Right.
the only, so again, I'm not nearly as well versed as a lot of people in this world, but best I can tell, there's a core group of companies that are producing these, with the addition of Toy Pizza, and my order of from the drop that we showed earlier, the Colgrim, the Raw Shark. Colgrim is the Raw Shark. Colgrim is the only known Glyos producer that I don't have a figure of yet.
Okay.
I've got Bio Monsters, I've got Spaced Out, I've got Onell, I've got God Beast. Raw Shark Colgrim is the only one.
Man or monster or like battle tribes.
Yep, I have Banner Monsters, so yep, I have them.
Warlords
No,
of
don't get me
War.
wrong. There's probably other ones out there, but in my mind, what we're constantly seeing
Yeah.
is that core group of companies.
Yep.
And I have purchased from all of them at this point. I don't have them all in my possession because I don't have a Raw Shark. Now, I will say that from what I also, again, in my understanding, and Dorklayer can probably jump in and give me a hand here. One of the big things with Raw Shark and Colgrim, like this is a production he hooked up with Godbeast for, but a lot of the stuff that he does is hand painted. It's a lot of customs.
Yeah.
So there's a difference there. That market is much smaller. Like he may post a figure on his site, there might only be 10 of them because him and his son like actually painted them. So that's a little bit different of
lot
But Dorklayer did
unique.
mention that there's no, obviously the factory discounts don't really exist because the runs are so small. So obviously that, like I said, run small.
Yeah.
Yep. So Dorklair just got a Colgrim custom. So, but yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with Glaos, and I don't think that anybody is surprised by that listens, because it's kind of been the main thing I've been talking about for a couple of months now. But
It has.
yeah.
All right.
With that being said, eat shit, Jeremy. So
That I will. And I'll do it gladly today now that I have a new figure.
I got one more thing.
Oh, shit.
Almost forgot.
Oh boy. Throw these to the side.
Broke my wife's heart last night at the toy swap party because she selected a box that she thought was going to be a winner. Turns out it was a RoboForce.
Which
and then,
arguably could be a winner depending on who you are.
and then she totally tried to get somebody to take it, and nobody did.
Which
So-
was a bummer because there was some good booze in there.
Yeah, there was. And she liked the booze. She just didn't care for the RoboForce. So I ended up securing a different type of toy that she is really, really happy with, based on her reaction last night. So I will tell you that I'm going to pop this bad boy open real quick because MOTU Joe got the other one, and he busted it open last night. And
He looked like a little kid on
fun,
Christmas
man.
playing with that thing. And
this is a behemoth. This is a substantial toy.
it's very large. And right now,
And heavy, like in the realm of it's very Hulkbuster feeling. you
so
know?
these are from Nacelle, and they also have like the biker mice, and they have the sectars. And there's a section at my Walmart right now where every single one of them, no matter what their price, they're on sale for $15. So,
I mean, this is. Oh, it's got
yeah,
I didn't
the
realize it's
suction cup.
actual suction cups. I just thought MOTU Joe was being funny when he had
No.
a suction.
Yeah, because they had vintage ones, and they were more like
All
like
were
rectangular.
They had like one suction cup.
Yeah, one suction cup. And I heard these don't work as well, but that
a couple of different gun accessories, and but it's a big boy.
that's a thick bitch.
That's a huge bitch. Freak, keep it in the circus. But yeah, so it's kind of, again, I looked at him. We talked about him on the show. I saw him on the shelf. Didn't really do much for me. But it definitely is cool. The sculpt is really nice. There's a ton of cool pieces. And the paint job it's actually like, this looks like
Got grime on it, like
Yeah,
weathered.
yeah,
it
like
looks
it's and this one reminds me of like R2D2 just took a shot of steroids,
Yeah.
But yeah, so
There you go.
thanks to my Secret Santa from last night.
all right.
Your Secret Santa says you're welcome.
Yep, other than that, that's what I got. So wrapping it up. Episode 340 of the Boys Gonna Kill Me podcast. Sans Travis, because he could not be bothered to walk down his goddamn stairs. Seducer Cody in the box, Jeremy DeWitt, Steve Bisciotti. I am Pete McCarthy, and until next time, we'll see you guys in the toy aisle.